What's up, gamers? Welcome in to the Big Boy Games live stream. How's everybody doing? I'll get started here in just a second. I'm just responding to some people first. Hair looking fresh? Thank you. I just took a shower, so always brush it back, and then when it dries, it shrinks or something. I don't know. It gets a little poofy. The poof is my constant struggle. Too much volume. I know, like, some people like want more hair volume, but I have too much. And then I look ridiculous. Sometimes it's just like a mess. The beach makes my hair even curlier, and I'm like a mad scientist. Yeah. I wish I lived close enough to actually go to the beach. That would be pretty cool. But I'm in the middle of nowhere, so it doesn't really work. Oh, you're in Italy. Nice. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, for me to get to the beach, it would take me like multiple days of driving. So that kind of sucks. Someone just asked me like what inspirations and stuff were for Lurden. Development time. Okay, I think that's all good there. All right. Just got a couple more messages. I apologize. Tried to get all this done before. One more message. Hold on. Yeah, starting our... Okay. We're done. Sorry for the wait. Anyways, we're going to be working more on the synergy system today. Just a bit. We need to get it actually working. That would probably be pretty helpful. So, yeah. I don't think it'll be too hard to implement, especially if we're doing like this method where it's just like we're not applying the multiplier to the specific individual fish, it's just to the tank in general, so I think it should be pretty easy. Because it will make for a pretty interesting setup. You've got to like use your less valuable fish for synergies, you know, and you have to like do like a cost analysis ratio where it's like, is it worth it for me to get a synergy on this guy? And, you know, I think it'll be interesting. Switch your colors up. Oh yeah, in your game. Yeah, you're welcome to send a screenshot if you want. Yeah, very cool. Let's see here. So, I think it should be pretty straightforward to do this. We're gonna have to recalculate our like tank income thing. I'll probably just have a function called like check synergies or something. Yeah, let's take a look at the screenshot. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Let's pull this up over here. Yeah, like the red grass stuff you got going on here. It's pretty cool. And the light, I don't remember if that was in the other screenshots. I don't think so. I like the light going on there. Oh, the lamp is a checkpoint. Okay. It's pretty cool. Neat. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty cool. I think all these layers help a lot. It makes it feel like you're not just outside of the city, but like really surrounded by all the buildings. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, pretty cool. It's looking good. Okay, so we have our calculate tank income right here. So we're gonna have to modify this function. Say, Oshik, welcome in. How's it going? Let's see. Yeah, so what we'll need to do here is, first off, I don't want to be recalculating these synergies every frame, because that's kind of inefficient. It probably would be fine, but I don't want to take any chances. So I think we'll probably just want to calculate it whenever we actually add a new fish into the tank, and on ready and stuff like that. So, and we'll have to remember the list of fish, right? Because when we leave, we won't have that list. Well, we'll still have it in our tank settings. So we have to store it in global. So I'm just going to create a new table for that. Tank synergies. It's going to be a dictionary of each tank index. And I think just a list of synergies. So an array. And that's all we need for that. So then at the beginning, we're going to go flesh those all out with the arrays. This is going to have an ID of each synergy in here. Okay. So right here is where I do all the initial tank setup. Now we're just going to say... well, I guess I'll just do this inside of a function, because I will have to recalculate these synergies each time. So let's just go down here. We'll just do it as the last thing or something. And I'll say update tank synergies. I'll probably just do all of them in one go. I could do it per tank, but I don't care right now. This will be fine. It's not going to be that slow. I mean, even if you have like 20 fish per tank, it'll still take like less than a millisecond. It's nothing. All right. So we're going to say for I and for tank ID and max tank count. Okay. And we're going to say tank synergies at index tank ID is equal to an empty array, right? I guess we don't even need to do necessarily an empty array. We could just set it to the arrays of our synergies, right? Is that an empty array? And then set this to our synergies. Okay. The synergy is already a variable? No, I guess not. All right. I think I got too many scripts open. Hold on. Close other tabs. Okay, so now what we're going to do here... Also, let me close these other tabs here too. We just need to loop through all the fish in the tank and figure out which ones match. So this is really the meat of the synergy system. So, how do we want to do this, huh? I want to do this in the most performant way that I can. Right? Now, I think we just have a list of fish IDs. So I want to go ahead and print this out just to check our tank fish data at index tank ID. Because I'm pretty sure that's just a list of strings of our fish. And if that is the case, then it should be pretty easy for us to do. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get renamable fish working. Because I think the way we store fish inside of tanks is as a string, so... Yeah, so it's literally just a list of strings. I'm considering in the future probably changing that to be dictionaries instead, so I can assign other information with each fish, right? Because if we want to do stuff like fish skins and all that, I have to know which fish is which. Theoretically, that would allow me to store fish in there as like with different weights and sizes and stuff. So maybe one day. But probably not today. So we could just loop through all those. Get like a list of... Just get a list of all the fish. And then we start looping through all of our synergies, and then if it has each fish in there, then we know. Okay. And I think I'm going to make one change to our synergies. Because now I'm thinking, synergies is a variable. I knew it. So instead of having these fish as just individual strings, I need to know how many, because I want to have some that require multiple fish. So we're going to do this. We're going to put them inside of arrays. So we'll have the quantity required at the beginning. Sort of like this. I don't know why Godot has been a little laggy for me. It's a little strange. Wish there was an easier way I could wrap this. I don't think so. I hate how it automatically closes the other bracket. It's infuriating. Hey, 4-star Yelp review, welcome in. How's it going? What have you been up to? Alright, so we got all those. Then let's go through and set the quantities. See, like... It's being laggy and stupid. I don't know why. Is it just the script I'm in? Like, is it too big? Was it my search box being open? That would be quite strange. No, it's not. Okay, so synergies, we have to say... I'll just change this to synergies list or something. Okay. What is this? Tank synergies. What do you mean? It's not a string dictionary. What? Oh. No, but it is a dictionary. What? Oh. Whoops. My bad, guys. Okay, so... It's looping through each tank. So we know what fish we have in there, and tank data. So how do I want to check these quantities and stuff, right? I'm gonna need to do get count or something. Can I do that in an array? Call array.getCount. And does that have, yeah, count of value? Okay, good. So that'll be a good way to do this. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to loop through the synergies. So for I in synergies, right? Say ID. So now we loop through our synergy data, synergies.get ID. And it has a list of fish, I believe. Yeah, fish. Now we're going to say for fish, or for entry in synergy data dot fish, Now, we're going to say, if tank fish data at index tank ID dot count of entry I of 1 or whatever. So we need to know the count. If it's less than the required amount in entry, then we want to say break, right? Because the first one that we find that is invalid, we just return. Otherwise, if we don't find any, I think this will work. Then I'll say of our valid is true. And then here, when we find an invalid one, valid is false. And if valid, we say synergies list dot push back. Oops. Our synergy ID. All right. And then at the end of this, I'm just going to print out everything. I'm just going to print out tank synergies. Okay. So that should be it. And then let's go like connect it up so it calls this update tank synergies whenever we do add a fish. And I think we have a convenient signal for that. I think it's like tank fish added. But it's also for when it gets removed. So I'll need one for that too. I guess also just on tank fish removed. Not connect to update tank synergies. Hopefully that'll work. I have to see if these signals have Godot. I'm going to slaughter you. They do pass in tank ID. Okay. So we'll just have to connect it with nothing or whatever. Let's just say ID by default is empty, so we don't have to call it with an ID. Or just call it val, whatever. Okay, so that should work. Should update all of our tanks. Let's go check it out. See what happens. Okay, go into here. So we see the list down here. No synergies on any of our tanks right now. Right? And we can see it updating. I also want to check, does it update when I call like return all fish? Seems like it does. So I think we'll be good on that updating. So let's go ahead and try some of the synergies that we've set up, right? Make sure that it works. So we've got... Come on. Oh, it's so slow. I don't know why Godot is so slow right now. Do I need to like relaunch it? I don't know. Could it be like my shader editor? I have all of these different shaders open. Maybe close those out just in case. That's the only thing that's like changed in this version. Does seem better already. Okay, goldfish, oranda, koi, and carp. Let's go create a synergy of those guys. So we need a carp. We need a goldfish. We need a koi. And an oranda. Then we should see, boom, synergy carp kits. I also want to go ahead and run the profiler and just make sure I'm not seeing like an enormous spike or something when this calculates. Yeah, I definitely am. Or actually, is that spike the formula, or is that just the one from, you know, our auto-saving? Let's see. So this would have been, I think, where it happened. See, I don't think it's actually anything. I think that's just our auto-saving. I think right here is where we process that, isn't it? Yeah, I don't even see it. Is it even real? I can't tell. Which is probably a good sign if I can't even see it visibly in there. So we're probably okay. Because I think what it might be is actually just that spike from opening the inventory menu again. So I don't think it's actually adding the fish. Right? No, it's just opening the inventory, so I think it's fine. Yo, Saiku, what's up? Welcome in. Yeah, we got big tanks now. It's pretty insane. You can put big fish in here. I'm getting it set up right now, so there's like these fish synergies that get calculated. That's going good. I just have to go apply that now into our calculate tank income. And then I'm just gonna say for I in tank synergies, we say multiplier times equals. Oh yeah, and that has to be tank synergies and index tank ID. So we have an ID, so we're gonna say var synergy data is synergies.get I, and then multiplier times equals synergy data dot multiplier. So that should now increase our income whenever we have a synergy. It doesn't show that they're generating more, which is interesting. I guess it's because it's... Yeah, I might have to do that inside of the fish, individual fish, instead of the tank. We'll figure it out. But yeah, our cash per minute's $3.99. So let's figure out what happens if we like remove a guy. It seemed like they do have a multiplier assigned because we lost like $3 passive income instead of the 2 that he normally offers. Hold on, it's hard to tell with the Arapaimas because they're so valuable. Okay, that's better. So we're making $2.50 per minute. So we got 1 there, 2 there. That doesn't add up. Huh? Oh, it's dirty. Hold on, let me make it not dirty. Okay, so 1 plus 2 plus 2, that's 5. So if we put in a carp, theoretically we should see 7 without a multiplier, but with our synergy boost, 10. So the synergies are working. I'm probably going to make it so it applies like per fish, because right now it just shows it generating 2. I want it to show like, you know, a part of this synergy, so probably do that. I was making a fish game there for a second. I prioritized fish with funny names, like, oh yeah, the turncoat hogfish. Yeah, there's so many wacky fish names. What is that guy? Let's look him up. The turncoat hogfish. This guy. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Maybe we'll have to add him. What's that one? It's like the bony... bony fish. It's like a really mean name. Oh yeah, this one. It's so mean. Can't believe they would do it to him. It's a type of eel. Down in pretty deep depth. A weird fish. Do you have a paradise fish in the game? I don't think so. What are these guys? Oh, they're type of gourami. Okay. Yeah, we could add this guy into the game. That'd be pretty cool. Semi-aggressive. It's pretty epic. Yeah, there's a lot of fish. I think absolutely like 2 after full launch and stuff.
Today, People Make Games is in Michigan.
What?
I'm here to see Jerry Gretzinger because
Where? Where I move one tab and 5 videos start playing. Oh my god. Okay, sorry about that. I need to close all those YouTube tabs. Yeah, let's go add it in here. The paradise fish. Yeah, you have a rainbow one. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I should probably get one of these days. I'll try and get my fish tank going again. It's just been kind of deactivated right now. There's no fish in there anymore. So it's just sitting there empty. Eventually. I just got super busy with university and stuff. And I think I just started being like, I'm just like, I'm gonna take a little break. We'll get back to it eventually. So yeah, I want you to know when there is a synergy happening here, right? I have to be careful about how I go about that, because what I'll probably do is just add a little sparkle particle to all these fish. So that when there is a synergy, it's like obvious that there's something going on. So I can go into the... already made this particle a billion times, so let's go copy it inside of the fish particle. This guy right here. And then this is inside of tank fish. So I'm just going to add to this sprite some sparkles. We don't need as many. They can last a lot longer. I feel like that would be fine. Call it Sparkles. Had Captain Sparkles brain moment. And then on ready, well, I guess how would we check? I'm gonna need another signal probably for whenever a synergy has been found. Synergy. Like update tank synergies right here. We're gonna have signal synergy changed. I'll do synergies changed. Okay, and then we're gonna say synergies changed. Oops. Dot emit. Now I can connect that up. I'll still print that for now, just so I can see everything's behaving as normal. And then now we're gonna have function set sparkles. I don't know. I keep and it'll just be equal to this. Sparkles is equal to, and does this have like a tank ID? It doesn't know what the current tank ID is, right? Which is a little problematic. Unless there's something inside of tank navigator. Tank object. No. I might pass in the tank ID with this just so I know. So let's save that, and then inside of our world node or whatever, tank world, when I say, that's when I add in decorations. Let's go inside of the tank menu. Must be the sub viewport then that adds them. No. Is it the tank menu that adds them then? Oh man. My back has been hurting. I don't know. I don't know why, guys. Now tank fish is an invalid scene. Apparently. Oh. Say the visible is equal to false. Then global dot tank synergies. Did I not save global? Oh, that should be tank synergies changed. Let's go do that. Made like a floating bomb. Oh yeah. I think it's a forgiving enough enemy. Interesting. Tank synergies changed. Yeah, it's always good to have some easy guys like that, especially when you get to doing like tutorial stuff. That's pretty important. Having like guys that introduce mechanics, but in a way that's like easy enough so that people can experiment and learn. I always think that's the best way to go about it. Okay, now I'm gonna set that to visible is equal to whether global dot tank synergies at index tank ID dot size greater than 0. Oops. All right, so where am I creating the fish? Fish. Tank fish. Here it is. Okay, it's right here. It's on, what is this function? Update or setup? Yeah. So I'm creating the tank fish here. I'm going to say fish dot tank ID is equal to tank ID. There we go. So we should be all good to go now. Let's go boot it up and see what happens. So whenever we have an active synergy, it should go ahead and make them sparkle. We also had to run that at the very beginning too, whenever they're first added. So tank fish. Just call set sparkles on ready. All right, watch this, guys. Boom. So they have an active synergy, so they're sparkling. Then if I remove him, you can see the sparkles go away because there's no more synergy. So I think that'll work. It's just a little visual thing of like, hey, there's like this cool stuff going on in here. Then if I add them in, yeah. Now, the sparkles are not in the right position, apparently, so we have to move those. So whenever I set the sprite position, I want to set it to... We have our, like, base scale sprite.width. Width. Oh, yeah. So we have image. We'll just say image.getSize. So position is equal to image.getSize divided by 2, because it needs to go forward. That should work, I think. Let's try this out. Let's see if it works. Seems to be in the wrong position somehow. Seems like it didn't even change position. Yeah, I don't really know what happened. Why it didn't work. Oh, I set that to if it's only a crawl. I'm just stupid. That's why. There we go. Now it's in the center. Now, actually, I think I only want to do that on the X position, because I realize I think it's already vertically centered. So we want to say image.getWidth. I think. There we go. Now it's actually in the center, finally. So yeah, I think that'll work. I might make the effect even less, like fewer particles. Also, a slower speed, I think. Let's go like 6 pixel speed. Also for drawing, I don't want it to be local chords. Something kind of like that, I think. It's a pretty minor thing, but it's just a little thing to kind of tell you that there is a synergy active in a tank. And I guess since it's with all fish, it's a tank-wide synergy bonus. It would be applied to everybody. Now we're gonna have a whole panel for viewing synergies in a tank, right? We're not just gonna throw some particles down and expect people to know what's happening, because that's not very fair. So inside of the tank menu, we're gonna generate that, right? Now, in terms of where that panel is going to be located, I think it's just going to be on the left, because I want people to kind of quickly view all of the synergies. So I'm thinking we do this. We've got our tank menu here. I think we'll just have a little button that's like a star icon or something, and then you click on it, and it opens up a panel here. Kind of like this panel over here, but for the left side, and it's like a scrollable list that has all of the tank synergies, the possible tank synergies, and it shows which ones are active, right? So I think that's how we're gonna go about it. I also want like a system so that you can discover the tank synergies, right? So I think after you find one for the first time, it adds it into your list of found synergies. So we're probably gonna be doing that. Yeah, I think this will work. What do you guys think about that, having the little star over there for synergies? I think that'll be the best way to format this. Yeah. Okay. I might show like their multiplier from synergies or something. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, so we need an icon for synergies. We have to figure out what that's going to be, because we do have a lot of icons. So we've got an icon for rarity is a star. I was kind of thinking of just doing like a golden star, but we already have that icon, so I need to like look up an icon for synergy. I mean, like something like this isn't terrible, but it's too complicated. I want a more simplified icon that's easier to draw. So we can't do a star. Light bulb. Not that one. This one's way too crazy. So what would make the most sense? We need to show that there's like a connection between two fish, right? Part of me almost immediately thinks something like this. This is just kind of mocking up an idea. Right? Then having like a white eye here. This is probably going to be stupid, but... and like another fish inside of it. Almost like a yin and yang for fish. But I don't know if that would really work. And it's kind of like unreadable. It's like, what is this icon even supposed to be? So I don't think it works. So hey, Spencer, welcome in. How's it going? What fish is this? We're just kind of trying to come up with an idea, like a concept for the icon for the synergy system. I don't know what it should be yet. This is a pretty popular one, apparently, like the infinity sign with like these arrows connecting together. I don't know if that's like a company or something, though. I mean, it's on Shutterstock, so I don't think it is. What's synergy? It's like a system where if you get like the right combos of fish inside of your tank, then you get a multiplier for your income. So going good, mod making goes well. Let's go. Very cool to hear. Nice. What have you been working on that with recently? Yeah, I see this icon everywhere. I feel like it doesn't like explain very much. I've changed a lot of our icons over time to be like real things. Initially, I used to have them be they were very abstract, and I didn't like how it was because it was like, what does this even mean? But if you look at all the icons now, it's like research is like a test tube, and inventory is like a crate, like a thing you would store stuff in, and travel is the earth. Shop is the only thing, I mean, you could interpret this as like a coin or something, and, you know, $sign is pretty universal. An ascension, I don't know what the heck the ascension thing is, I just needed like a unique icon. I went through like 3 variations of ascension points. You did a villagers teach you recipe system. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Interesting. So you have to like go to villagers to unlock recipes? Or is it like you can craft whatever you want, but you just have to... like you have like a recipe book or something? Yeah, if you want to send me the jar, I could take a look. What version of Minecraft is it for? Is it like Forge or what? I don't know any of the details. Okay, just the recipe book recipes. Okay. Yeah, it'd be cool to check out. 26.2 Neo Forge. Okay. I'll write that down so I don't forget. Yeah, I could try loading it up and messing around. What other, like, I saw you did a bunch of changes. You definitely should have like somewhere where you keep track of all of the features, because you're going to want to do like a write-up for the actual page, right? I can never find like, are these my repositories? These are like my repositories though. Like, how do I get to the ones I'm in? It's so confusing. I've never liked the pipeline of getting to a repository in in GitHub. It's like, where do I go? I don't know. Sent it to me, thank you. Okay, yeah, there's the jar. I think you sent me the somewhere. God dang it. My done notifications. My saved, my inbox. How do I get to the repository? Oh, there it is. Okay. I better star it so I can actually get back. Yeah, because you've been doing a bunch of commits. The villager teaching menu. Okay. Man, this mod is going to be completely incompatible with everything else. That's fine. Recipe system. Hide all advancements. Remove outer end island. Interesting. Like, how do you even do this? Like, what is the code change to remove that? I don't even know what all this stuff is. Like, record codec builder. What is that? A density function. So you have some end islands, I'm assuming, and then you just get rid of some of them? Ugh. Double min value. It's a lot of functions. And the small end island stuff. Yeah, it's like unreadable to me, at least. It's like I don't even know what's going on. What is this? This has been merged or whatever. Oh, there's like build checks. Okay. Yeah, pretty crazy. It's me pretty much all is vibe coded. Yeah, we'll see what the future holds for that. If it stays stable. I still don't know what icon I want to do for synergies. There's so many different possibilities. You could do like the rotating circle thing. That's kind of boring. I need to be interesting enough or like distinct enough from all the other icons we have already. So I don't want it to be too similar to the Ascension icon, right? It looks like this little star thing. I don't know. Let's see. Good night. Just committed. Are you going to sleep? Yeah. Nah, do it up. You're all good. Yeah, 249 files. That's crazy. Thanks so much for coming into the stream. I appreciate it. And have a good rest of your night. I want it to be fish related, but it's hard to come up with an idea for that. You can add it on stream. At it? What do you mean? Oh, look at it on stream if you want to. Okay. Yeah, I could load it up. Just mess around real quick. I'll have to go install Neoforge and all that stuff. It's because it changes the colors of every single texture. Ah, yeah. Makes sense. Good night, Ham. Thank you for coming in. I don't know. Let's just... Whenever I run into a thing like this where I just can't think of what the icon should be, it's easier for me to just be like, okay, I'm just gonna do something and then fix it later. So I do have an icon that was already like this for the ascension points. Okay, well, I think really what this is, it's like synergy doesn't, it's like a combo. Like what is, I need an icon for a combo. It's just like fast food combo. That's not what I mean. I think for combo, I think of like things, you know, it's like multiple things in a group, right? It's hard to like abstract concepts like that into an icon. I don't know why this is an icon for a combo. That doesn't seem to make any sense. It's like a chart. I don't know why that's a combo. Is that like a financial term or something? Like a combo? Like when you have like multiple days of increasing value or something? I don't know. There's not much for combo icons. Alright, forget that then. I might just have like 3 fish or something inside of a circle to kind of show that, like, you know, you're pairing up multiple fish with each other. Probably be the best way to go about this. Oh yeah, I have to do it stupid. I forgot. I have to like use the selection because there's no way to do like a normal circle or whatever in Krita. It's kind of stupid, but whatever. Oh yeah, I could have just used a brush. Whatever. Oop. What MC launcher do you use? I mean, sometimes I don't use any. Usually just CurseForge. So we got that. And then I guess we'll just add like maybe 4 fish. I'll have to figure out how to make this look like a fish. I don't want it in the middle because that looks stupid. Maybe just 2 fish. Like, we don't have to show that it's like a bunch. Probably be easier for me to draw. So let's break up like the areas I get to draw in, right? Something like this. All right, let's draw a fish. Oops. Let's do this. I've tried Prism before. I mean, Prism's fine. I just use CurseForge because it's what I'm familiar with and stuff, so I've got no like major gripes with CurseForge. I mean, I don't like that they pay their creators poorly and stuff, but I like Modrinth even less now that they were bought by Prism. Prism's, in my opinion, a much worse offender than CurseForge ever has been. But or not Prism, sorry. I mean Essential Mod or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Brain not work. So yeah. Because yeah, I've used Essential before, and it's ridiculous how much they really stuff stuff down your throat. It's like, oh my god, like chill. I don't want to buy all these skins and stuff, you know. How did that change? What? That one's... I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense. That one's only 1 pixel away there. So that one should be up more, but then it's going to be 2 up. Extremely strange. Well, whatever, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I'll probably change his icon again someday. I don't really like it, but it'll be fine for now. I just need some kind of icon so I can start, like, implementing the feature, you know? I don't know what would make more sense for this icon. I don't know. It's a hard concept to draw. The concept of a combination. Right? I'm gonna anti-alias this though and round it out. Let's see right there. Let's get rid of that guy. Ads incoming. Fine, yeah, 2 minutes. I want to round out those guys. That is the question. Do I want to do it that way? I guess so. Wait a minute. Oh, I just forgot a pixel there. Okay, then we'll change the outline color to this instead. Oh, into Modrinth. Yeah. Yeah, it's really disappointing that's gonna happen now. Modrinth was pretty nice. I mean, I have it like pinned because I was like, oh man, Modrinth is better than CurseForge, and I can't wait to use Modrinth now. And then I got the news, and I was like, no. Not Modrinth 2. So, it is what it is. Fish. Yeah, I guess I'll do that there. That's good enough for now. I'll come back to this eventually and probably redo the icon to something that makes more sense, but this is okay for now. So this is icon combos, or icon synergies. And then we'll need like a tiny version of it, probably. Sprites, icons. Icon synergies. Let's use that add. Okay, close out of there. This will be an Ascension research, so I guess what I'll do then is in whatever update tank synergies, we'll check, right? If get Ascension level, allied Ascension dot synergies is greater than or equal to greater than 0. Or let's say if it's less than or equal to 0. Then I want to return, and we'll call take synergies changed. And just loop through all the tanks and just set their synergy list to nothing, right? Then say tank synergies at index tank ID is equal to an empty list. So yeah. Excuse me. So that should work. Okay. Then we can add this Ascension. The Ascension table. I don't know where I would add this in. I don't know if it necessarily needs a prerequisite. I might just add it as having no prerequisite. Just call this guy Ascension. What's U form? Call this synergies. Icon synergies. Cost. I want it to be kind of like a cheap thing that you get to explore. Probably ideally on first ascension, so just probably 1. Combine fish for income bonuses. Not combine fish, but lets you pair fish together for income bonuses, right? That's really more what it is. Okay. Let's load it up. Let's go see if this works. So the system should not be active now. It's not good. Let's get our ascension. Oops. So now it's there. Synergies. Okay. And we can unlock it. We'll need a ascensions. Give ourselves like 20 points or something. I don't know why that made this tank get dirty. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Alright, then I can unlock this. Let's does not have an apostrophe, right? I don't think so. Yeah, let's is different from... Let's with an apostrophe is let us. So that's not the same thing. So that's grammatically correct. That's what I figured. Alright, so you can buy synergies. Boom. And then now. I also need to make it so synergies gets updated whenever you buy the synergy ascension, right? Let's go into ready. Just down here we have some signals connected. Then global. Oops, I'm in global. Ascension purchased. Function. I think that passes in an ID for the ascension that was purchased. Yes. So I'll say if ID was equal to allied ascension dot synergies, then we call update tank synergies. Alrighty. But if I like load back out, should be updated, I think. Or actually it won't be, I have to add a fish back in there. But that'll fix that issue, it shouldn't happen anymore. It's unlikely anybody would have these synergies by default, just accidentally. I mean, but there is a chance, so I have to make sure. Alright, then the next thing is just another little button over here so we can open up the synergies panel. I'll make it so whenever you discover a new one, it'll make that button flash, probably. Alright, into the tank menu. So we want to add something in like this menu over here, like fish info. Let's go ahead and duplicate it, call it synergies. And now this, instead of being shrink on the right, we want to shrink on the begin. We're going to change the offset transform here. Also the layout, this is set to, well, I do have position ratio. Interesting. So I'll do -1? Or maybe -0.9. 0.92, 0.94. That's good enough right there. Okay. This is going to have some things on it. Let's get rid of all of this garbage. I don't need any of this. Alright, so we got a V-box, which I don't really need. I don't know why it's a V-box. I guess it's to keep it centered, but it's centered anyways, so a little useless. I'm just going to get rid of the V-box. Alright. Does that have an offset transform applied? No, it does not. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, -0.95. I don't really want it to be visual only. Alright, so now we're going to have some things in here. First off, a label at the top that says synergies. Apparently the panel container is moving down. I can just set this to -0.5, and I think it'll be fine. Should stay centered. Yeah, that new little offset transform thing is actually turning out to be pretty useful, I think. Let's put a V-box into this. Set this to go centered. Font size, or let's just go to themes and do better large. Add a separator. Then now down below that we have a scroll container. That's going to be set to expand. That's going to have another V-box inside of it. Then each of these is going to have another panel container. Let's see, I got to make this V-box expand. Boom, boom. Let's figure out how tall we want this panel to be. Not super insanely tall, but tall enough to show everything. Probably like that. At least. So how are synergies going to work? Essentially, if you have the right kind of fish in your tank, it applies a multiplier to all of the fish in your tank. So it's just a way to like get some more income bonuses, right? So I think it should be pretty helpful. The combos and stuff that you do can get really interesting and complicated, right? because there's a lot more decision making that goes into it with synergies, into like what fish you put into a tank. We're talking about this like last stream, but like, for example, let's say that you want to do like a synergy with like a really high value fish. So what it does is it makes your less valuable fish worth way more to put into tanks again. Because you have all these stupid little low value guys, but let's say they form a synergy and that gives you like a 2x multiplier. Then if you put a big expensive fish in that tank with them, even though these fish are really worthless, you're multiplying the big expensive rare guy that you have by the synergy multiplier, right? So a 2x multiplier is for the whole tank, regardless of whether somebody's in the synergy or not, right? So I think it'll be pretty interesting. It'll make that whole placement process and combinations that you do way more fascinating. Yeah, I think it'll be helpful. It's just like a little like, yeah, it just makes the process of displaying your fish more interesting, right? That's the way I look at it. And then I'll probably duplicate this label to show the active bonus. Current bonus, oops. And it'll say like current bonus 1.0x or something, right? Something pretty small. I don't need to say current bonus, I'll just say bonus 1x. I want to call it bonus. Might call it, I think I already have something like this, don't I? Or I like say income multiplier or something. But did we just get some new languages added in here or something? Saw that the translation amount went down. Oh, that's for approved, right? There must have been something. What got added in here? Maybe it already got translated. No, but then I would have increased our rate. Lion. Sturian. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I mean, all these are still at the same translation amount, right? Oh, it's because I added a bunch of new keys. That's... yeah, it wasn't actually anything. Oh yeah, but I actually forgot what I was going to check. Browse all the strings. Income. This is all... Okay, that's offline income. Cash income bonus. Yeah, I did it for the Ascension menu. I knew I did it somewhere. So I'll just do it again. I'll probably make this panel a little bit wider. Maybe like 262 or something. It's probably fine. Okay. And then let's go add another button here. Now, how do I do this, like, with these over here? So I've got those two. And label. I guess I just don't bother with it. Okay. That's fine, whatever. Duplicate. Call this synergies. Now, just for now, we'll give it the synergies icon. I'm probably going to change that, though. Okay. Then whenever we press that button, I think I set those buttons to be invisible, so like sponge dot visible or disabled. Thought I did. Do I not? I don't know. I have to figure that one out. So on synergies pressed, I'm going to go ahead and say make the synergies panel visible. I'm also going to say on ready then. Well, really on... yeah, I guess just on ready. Say synergies dot visible is false. All right, let's try this out. Just want to make sure the menu is actually opening and in the proper position and all that. I shouldn't have the fish food mechanic active, so I think it won't show it to me, right? Oh, I did buy it. Okay, what if I say set up, or yeah, set research. Does that work? I always forget the commands. Commands menu. It's remove research. Okay. Research.fish food. Did not seem to remove it. Oh, it did. Okay. Okay, so the button just fully disappears. So I must have that connected up somewhere in here then. Like maybe on research purchased. Nope. Where do I do that? What does it know? I must. Okay, right here I do it. Is this just in process? Oh, it's in setup. Okay, so we'll do the same thing for the other button. Li extension synergies, and call this, instead of food, synergies. Okay, let's try this again. So boom, gonna open up the synergies panel. Now here's the problem though. If I do big UI scale, synergies panel's gone. Right? That is one issue right now. So, I mean, the same thing happens with the other one. I haven't heard anybody have issues with that before, so it's unlikely to be a real problem. But it is something that I have to keep in mind. Oh yeah, let's also make it so it actually toggles visibility. Oops. Okay. I do the same thing over here when I select on a fish. Though that's a much more complicated configuration. This would be an easy one. Okay. Then I have to update this to reflect the current synergies and all that. Probably just have this as its own script. Be easier probably, but yeah. It'll be fine. So let's just say global dot tank synergies change dot connect to update synergy panel. So we will do that. Quadrilateral count. Bonus text is equal to translate cash income bonus plus a colon plus dot format number. Precision, okay. And that's going to be our, I guess I need to know what the total multiplier is. So I'm going to have to calculate that separately. So in calculate tank income, I'm going to break this section up into its own, right? And then just say multiplier times equals get synergy multiplier. Okay. Like that. So now we're going to pass in for what, tank, and take synergies, save our multiplier is equal to 1.0 by default. We return a float. We return our multiplier. All right. For tank ID. So that should be all we need there. Then back inside of the tank menu, we just throw that function call in there. We just say global format number, global dot get tank. Get synergy multiplier or tank ID. Like a frickin' type. Okay. So update synergy panel happens whenever that changes, and then also whenever we call, like, whenever the menu visually changes, right? I guess just on setup. And that should be everything. So whenever I go in here, it'll show our income bonus, which is 1.5 right now. So that seems to be working pretty well. Then I also want to show like I guess at the end of this, put an X. Is that how I display it inside of here? It's 5 times. I don't know if I should put the X like before the 5, you know? I never know. What is the proper way to do that? Does it come before or after? It's not multiplication. Well, I guess I would assume you put it in before because it's like, it's a multiplier. So you're saying times 5 or whatever, right? I think X would be like representing a quantity. I think. I mean, that would make more sense. I might be completely wrong, though. Alright, and then if this gets too long, I think it should wrap. Oop. Apparently it does not. Let's turn that to word smart. Okay. So I think we're all good to go. Then we just need to fill out this list with all the different synergies that are possible. I don't know how I want to go about that yet. I don't want to show like the silhouettes of the fish because I think it would be too obvious how to form those synergies, you know? I mean, it's hard to say. Maybe it wouldn't be too obvious. But you would definitely see occasionally some in there that are like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that fish is, right? Like something like this, or like these guys, where it's like, oh yeah, that's obviously just an arapaima and an oarfish or whatever, you know what I mean? So I need to kind of avoid that. But maybe it just seems really obvious to me, you know? I don't know. Just because I drew all these fish, I know every single silhouette. But maybe to somebody else it'd be a lot more difficult. Who knows? I don't know. We could probably do silhouettes. Probably be fine. Probably just overthinking it. Okay, so I guess the way we'll form these is have the name of the synergy obscured until you discover it. And then it'll show like the 3 fish sprites or whatever as silhouettes. And then when you find them, it works. So let's go ahead and do it. So we're gonna have an H box in here. Just have it on center mode. Have a label for the name. So put everything inside of a V box. Like so. Label, then H box below. Be called like, you know, it'll be the name of the synergy. Alexa, stop! Can't take it sometimes, guys. I don't see an Xbox in your setup. All right, then it's going to show the fish in here. Let's up the minimum size quite a bit. Probably 32. It doesn't have to be super big. Set this to keep aspect centered and fit height, I think, or fit width. That's not right. Fit width proportional. There we go. Okay. So then it's just going to add all these in. And if we get too many, I might have to change this into a, whatever, flex box or whatever you call it. What are those called again? A flow box? I don't remember what they called them. I think it's under container. Flow container. Oh, I guess I'll set this to have a minimum of 32 there. Because then now, if it starts getting like too filled up, it'll wrap down. We'll see. All right, and then boom, it wraps down, which is what I wanted to do. In case we have one where there's like a ton of fish. So I think that should work pretty well. Alrighty. Boom. I'm going to change this to be a rich text label, I think. Probably change the panel container theme. Let's do not that one. Probably a thin. Yeah, I like how that one looks. Oh, I was looking for that one on the other thing. I need to go use that one. Didn't realize I just called it 3. I should have called it thin or whatever. 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 I don't care. BB code, no scroll. We can have auto wrapping and fit content. Then what I'm gonna put below is like the multiplier, you know. Okay. And I guess if I'm doing all that, I might also separator. So that would be our synergy box or whatever. So let's save this as that node. Synergy panel. Now go into here. We're gonna add a script. And this should be expand horizontal, just to make sure. Okay, so we're gonna have some IDs and stuff in here. So first off, function synergy ID as a string, not function rar var. Then on function ready, we're going to populate our list. So this is not an HBox container. I'll call it a icon container. So we're going to get var synergy data global dot synergies.get synergy ID. And then for in synergy data.fish, go ahead and add the icons, right? Now I'm gonna have to load this probably, unless I just create one. It's equal to texture rect.new. That'll be fine. So those are gonna be IDs. So now we have to get var fish data is equal to global.items table.get. When it passes in those fish, yeah, it has a quantity, so we have to get 1. Okay. And then I also have to loop through for count. And let's change this away from I to entry. So an entry 0, right? Because if there's multiple fish, then we need to loop through it multiple times. And then now change this to entry 1. I'll just get that there once, so I don't have to constantly be calling it. Okay, so icon.texture is going to be equal to fish data.sprite. Also want to say icon.minimum, or it's custom minimum size or whatever. .y is equal to 32. And then I also want to say icon.stretch mode is equal to keep aspect centered, and icon.expand mode is equal to fit width proportional. And I think that's all we need to do there. I'll have to set the material on whether the icon should be visible and stuff or not, but that should be most of it. Then I'm also going to set the label with all that info. So we're going to say label.text is equal to, and we'll just format it like this. New line 1. So 0 is going to be synergy data.name, and we're going to be translating that name. And then right below it, it's going to show the multiplier. So global.format number, synergy data.multiplier. X multiplier. Also want that one to be like color is equal to gray or whatever, just so it's not so visible. And I think that should be it. So now we just have to go through and create all of them. So I'm not doing that in update synergy panel because we only need to create these once whenever we load into the scene. So let's go into ready. And we're going to say Brian global dot synergies. So let's see. I need to loop through the VBox container. Say add child, preload, synergy panel, dot instantiate var panel is equal to that. We say panel dot synergy ID is equal to I, and then we add the child of the panel. So that should be it. It should now automatically populate that little menu with all of our synergies. Let's see what happens. And then we'll have to get it set up where we have the system to like unlock them, right? And apparently this doesn't have a name. I don't know how. I'm guessing that the ID we passed in was null. Yeah. How did that even happen? Oh, because I had one just sitting in here. Oopsies. Let's try it again. We'll see what happens. Okay, I can't do a texture, key sprite, fish data. Entry 1, li fish snail. That should be fine. Wait, snail? I just made a mistake in the synergy. That's not a fish. Freshwater. Snail. Oopsies. There's a good way, though, to double check, make sure all our synergy names are actually valid. So we won't have that issue. Okay, let's see. Didn't crash, so it must have worked. Alrighty, cool. So it's displaying all the guys in here. They're all displayed at the same relative height. I do want to change the formatting on this more. It's a little bit messy. But we're on the right track. So, let's see, how do we want to do that? I don't think I need a new line for the multiplier. I think I'm just going to put that inside of, like, the text, but with some parentheses. So let's go into the synergy panel code. I'm just going to do this. Oops, and I have to put this under parentheses like this. I think that'll be a nice improvement already. It's definitely much easier to look at. I get some issues where it wraps on some of these names if they're too long, but we'll try and keep them short. What's next here? Some of these fish are pretty... They've changed pretty drastically in size. Like, this guy looks enormous just because he's wide, but not very tall in his sprite. So I may have to change that. I wonder... That makes sense. Just do this as a... Put everything in the label. I don't even have to use a text label. Or not a text label, or a texture label or whatever. I think I can do that. Oops, don't hide those. But yeah, inside of the synergy panel, because now that we have that one ability to set the spacing, it makes it so much easier. So now we just say, we still loop through the fish and stuff and get the fish data, get count and entry, but we don't have to do any of this stuff. And we just say label.text plus equals. And we'll put a new line after this guy here. So it's just going to be equal to this. Image/image. And its image height is equal to 1 EM. I don't know what EM stands for, but it probably means something. I just set that to 0 so I can call the format fishdata.sprite.getImage or .getPath or whatever. And I think that'll work just like that. I don't think we need to bother instantiating more nodes. Just do it with a rich text label. It's honestly a lot of things that I could probably do that with now, which is really cool. And I think I can also set color on that. We'll have to see if that makes sense for that. For doing like the obscuring it, but so it didn't seem to do anything. I think I messed up something. Oh, I called an array, I think. Oh. Invalid type. Fish data. Sprite. Resource not found. Res 0. Oh, I didn't put it inside of an array. That's what happened. Now it should work. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. So I can just set it to be a multiple of whatever that height is that we want. So instead of 1 EM, we could do 2 EM. And boom, it just kind of works. No need to do a bunch of nodes. It's just too much work. Alrighty. And then we'll highlight like which ones are active and stuff with like a fancier border probably. So another thing we'll connect up inside of here is function set border. And we'll just check whether it's active or not. So I guess we'll need to know what tank these synergies are in too. But that changes depending on, yeah, it's not going to be as easy as I think. I'll probably need to get a reference to the global UI or whatever. So I think when I add these in, I'm going to say panel.ui is equal to self. Or just call it tank menu. Then in synergy panel, I can call this and say whenever, what do I want to call signal? Global dot synergy. Synergy's changed. Back to set border. Now I can check if UI dot tank ID. So if global dot tank synergies at index UI dot tank ID dot has our synergy ID, then otherwise set it to that one. So we'll say theme type variation is equal to whatever it is. Theme panel container gold. And then this one will be set to panel container 3. Oh, and then var UI. Or no, it's var tank menu. Oopsies. I think tank menu, I'll just say it's type of control node. All right. And then now when a synergy is active, it should have the gold border. I think that'll be a good indicator that it's being used. Go take a look. Okay. Boom. So I think it also needs to call that already. Okay. Just load it in again. Yeah, there we go. So you can see like it's got the funny gold border. So yeah, that seems pretty obvious to me at least. It's like highlighted and stuff, you know. Shows our current bonus up there. That seems pretty good. Alrighty. Could probably do some kind of calculation about how tall the thing should be, like get a ratio between the fish sizes. So like if a fish is significantly smaller, he does visually look smaller than the other guys. It's hard to say. But this is a good start. Then you can just close the synergies panel if you want. Cool. Yeah, I think this will be really fun to mess around with and discover all the different synergies. We're now going to make it so that the synergies are invisible or like locked initially, right? So we're going to have some new checks in here. Now I do need to figure out if there's a way for me to just like fully set this color to black or something, where I can just say like color is, you know, hashtag. I think it's 6 numbers is what you need. So let's see if that even works. Okay, that does work. The only problem though is that it's not like a color in our palette. Like you can see these are a different color. This is just pure black. So I don't know how I feel about that. The problem is if I think if I give it any kind of value, it becomes no longer pure black. So like if I put it in our black color, right? And then load back in, I think you'll kind of like be able to see the fish. Yeah, which is not ideal. So that is one thing with how setting color in a rich text label works. The way I was able to do it in the other one is because it actually had a node attached to it, right? Or a material attached to the node. See, I don't know how that would work here. I mean, I want to just lock them all in one batch. I could still use a rich text label, but just a separate node. Because I think it's like a UI node or something, or the material I use. I think it's our UI material. UI shader, whatever. Where it's got this like, inside of here, a parameter. Instance uniform bool solid color active right there. So I think we can set that. And it just uses the modulate, so that should work pretty well. Yeah, let's do that, I guess. So I'm going to delete these 2 other nodes. Delete this, or duplicate it, I mean. Call it a fish. Then now I'm just going to swap this out super easily. Not a big deal. Get rid of all that stuff. It's just easier doing it this way instead of having to instantiate a bunch of nodes. It's probably more performant anyways, so. And that's going to have that material on it. I'll make sure that it does. So I'll just add UI shader to it. And I might change this to just like update status or something, you know, to check if it's still locked. Because that's the same thing that happens on set border. I'll just call it update instead of set border necessarily, right? So now we're going to check if it's locked. So I'll have it as a var up here. I'll be able to true by default. That means we're also going to update the text in there too. So actually I don't even need to get synergy data there. Hey Nick, welcome in. How's it going? Or wait, no, I do. It's going good today. We're just working on the synergy system more. I think it's pretty much good to go. So I'm just kind of setting up a couple little things here. Okay, so that's set. So update. I need to figure out if it's locked or not. I'll show you what we've been adding in today in just a second. So we're going to have this list of synergies that we have found already. Do I have unlocked things or something? Or like, I know I check for like research, what research we've unlocked. I think it says separate. Yeah, it's called completed research, which is good. I probably want it to be a separate thing. So var found synergies, the dictionary. Nope, actually it can just be an array of strings. And we'll set that one to save so that like you don't lose your synergies. Synergies are going to be like a constant thing. All right. Now we just check whether found synergies has that. Also, whenever we emit this signal, tank synergies change. Should we find a valid synergy here and we add it to the list? I want to say if found synergies does not have ID, then we add it to found synergies. Dot push back ID. Oops. All right. So that works there. We're good. Got access to an API that I want to try to interact with, so I'm pretty happy. Ooh, let's go. Are you like allowed to say what the API is, or is it like a, you know, NDA? See, locked. All right, so we're gonna check whether that has it or not. So locked is equal to not having it. So now we're gonna change what the name is depending on whether it's locked or not. So we're just gonna pass in title. So if locked, var title is equal to 3 question marks. And then if it's not locked, we set title to that instead. It's just EcoFlow. It's free. You got to request permission to it. EcoFlow makes power stations and solar panels. Whoa. I hope I did not sign an NDA back then. You're probably okay. EcoFlow. Oh yeah, they make all the power stations and stuff. It's pretty epic. What kind of API do they have then, I wonder? Like, what do they offer in their API? Or I guess you can just like connect stuff up with like, so you can like run commands into your devices and stuff like that. So that's kind of crazy. Become a developer. Yeah, so you could probably like read in data from your solar panels and stuff like that, I imagine. If this has solar panel, if they offer that, I don't know what they build. I know they do batteries. Probably just batteries. And yeah, they probably do like whole house batteries and stuff too, I bet. Yeah, they got like some big guys. The Pro Ultra X. How much money is this? Oh my god. It's a lot of money. Does HTTP requests just to interact with your power stations? Yeah, they turn ports on or off, record data. Nice. If you click one of the power stations on the side, you can see all you can do. Oh, okay, nice. So yeah, you can just click on one of these and see. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's crazy. Yeah, you can just like control the AC, like control the outlets and stuff on them. That'd be pretty fun to mess around with. Do some like home automation stuff. I've done that a little bit with Raspberry Pis and Arduinos. It's kind of fun. I can't remember what I set it up through. I was messing with like some smart light stuff kind of recently, I think, with that. Well, recently, it was probably like a year ago now. It's kind of fun though. I always thought it'd be really cool if I could automate the process of opening my windows. Because sometimes like I'm upstairs or I'm not here to open my windows at night to cool down the house. It'd be cool to like connect like a hydraulic arm to the window and have like a little mechanism to unlatch it and like open it. That'd be pretty sick. And then I could just run that on a little Arduino somewhere and then just hit a button on my phone and just open my window, you know? So, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll look into that. I'm not super great with this stuff though. I don't know like how that would go. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's do that if it's not locked. And then the last thing we got to do here is if... I'll just say if locked. And since I'm checking if not locked here, I can also do this. Set the text. So if it's locked, we want to say fish dot modulate is equal to the black color. Otherwise, modulate will be white. Actually, I don't need to dynamically set the modulate. Or, no, I do, because otherwise it's just going to be super dark. Color.white. And then if it's locked, I want to say fish.setInstance, right? Shader parameter of solid color active to true. Well, I'll just do this since it's just set that to whether we're locked or not, right? So if we're locked, then that's true. Yeah, that should be good. What do you mean you can't find color white? Oh, it's like all caps, isn't it? Yeah. All right. I think this should work now, so we should know which ones are locked. I need to remove the fish from that list, or from that one tank, so I can watch it happen. Yeah, we'll be new to me, build it outright. Probably just gonna use Godot for now. I'm sure Godot has stuff for HTTP requests. Yeah, I think it does. So. Okay, so for some reason, so these ones are working, but it has other text in here for some reason. Oh, because I made it have text by default by accident. Okay, so there's a couple things we gotta adjust. The solid color thing didn't seem to work properly. I don't know if it's like, do I need to... I don't think it's a property for me to put the color in. I'm pretty sure I just use the modulate here. Yeah, color RGB. So we should be good to go. And I'm setting it to that modulation. Let's just boot this up again, try it out. Yeah, I haven't really messed with HTTP stuff in Godot before. It would be fun, though. One of these days. I don't know. This is the whole thing, you know? Okay, so that looks to be the right color. I think. It just looks brighter in the other one. So, for some reason, though, it's not... doesn't seem to set the modulate back to being white or something. Like... I don't know why. If locked... So this one obviously is not locked because it set the border and everything and the text properly, but somehow the fish are still... I don't know. So I can just say else on this. Yeah, it's pretty weird. It shouldn't be black anymore. Right? They should be just normal color. So I'm trying to figure out why it's like that. It's like it's still just... I didn't set a self-modulate. Did I set a modulate up here or something, or somewhere else? Oh, god dang. I did it inside of here. Duh. Okay. That was my bad. That's why it was also brighter than it should have been, I think, because it was applying it twice, so it would be like... Yeah, technically a little bit brighter, I think. Alright, so anyways, the system that we're working on, I'll show it off fully now, is synergies. And basically what it is if you put the right fish inside of the same tank, then you get a little bonus, right? And there's a bunch of different reasons I wanted to add this system in. You get this little panel. It's an ascension that you can unlock in here, synergies, so you can grab that there. There's all these different ones that you can find and discover. I have it set initially where they're all kind of obscured, right? So it has like the question mark, so you don't know what the synergy is or what these fish necessarily are. It does give you a little like outline, so it gives you a hint as to how to make the synergies, but it doesn't outright tell you, So I think I like doing it that way because it's kind of like, okay, I got to sort of figure it out. And then it's super obvious here where it's like, oh yeah, I know what these fish are. But yeah, so you put the fish together. These 4 guys have an active synergy, so it shows at the top that I have a bonus of 1.5, right? And yeah, it pretty much works. So I think that's pretty much it. The only other thing I want to do for the synergy system, I think, is have a little like pop-up thing at the top of the menu where if you unlock a synergy, it just says synergy unlocked and does a little sound. Because I feel like it would just be kind of fun. You don't get that feedback from this system like you do with like research, because when you buy a research in here, you know, you get like, it makes a sound and particles come out and like, you know, you feel the research that you bought. But with synergies, it feels kind of like, oh, I didn't like, you don't like get anything. So I want to change that to where it like does something when you get a synergy. I think it would also just be nice to have a system for like having notifications at the top of the screen, especially if we add in achievements and we want to announce achievements being unlocked without Steam enabled. So I think it's just good to have. Let's do the fast. Yeah, it did go pretty quickly, honestly, surprisingly. I mean, we got this done in pretty much, I don't know, not that long. Like 1 day. Wish I could focus and get stuff done as fast as you do. It just comes with practice, I think. And good project architecture, right? That's the big important thing. I'm able to add stuff so fast into Alert In, I think, because of the way I've done things. I'm really glad that I explored using panel containers, because I think that made creating UIs significantly easier for me. In the past with Starground, I would use like a margin container and then a color rect in the background and then another margin container, and it was just like stupid. But now using a panel container, it's an all-in-one solution, right? It's easy and quick and fast. Yeah, and I have so many other signals and stuff in global that connecting all those up and like creating the code needed to calculate this stuff is really easy, because I have a signal for when a fish is added and removed. So I know the exact moments when I need to recalculate the synergies, right? So that makes it very easy. And also, again, I have all of the functions for like calculating income all in separate functions. So I can easily just go in, add a little change to the code, and it just works. So it's nice. I'm glad I've designed everything the way I have so far. It looks great if I made this set of like 5 whole colors in the whole project. I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely just creating things helps so much, and just teaching you the best way to go about things, right? I don't know. Like, I think I've played so many games and also created so many UIs, I've gotten a much better grasp of like how to design them, I feel like. Where it's like, I think it's pretty important to think about like hierarchy, you know, utilizing like separators so it's clear this is sort of like a different section, because if these were combined together, I think it'd be confusing, you know. And something I've done with the UI in this game too, in particular compared to Starground, is like utilizing panels. Starground, I didn't really use panels very often, but panels are such a great way to separate elements from each other. Like, if you look at some of these menus I have, it's like a hierarchy of panels. Like, I have a big main panel, I have a little small thin panel here, and then inside of that panel, I have all of these panels. It's like, it's a hierarchy of panels. Lots and lots of panels. I think panels are great. I mean, it's like a good way to design UI. It makes things feel like you have the control over what it should be in its own section, right? Like all of these fish, I feel like make sense being in their own little panel. So, yeah. I found out about panel containers and they're a lifesaver. Used to calculate the min sizes during runtime. Oh, yeah. Panel containers are pretty cool. all of the Godot nodes are like always useful, you know? Some people like hate on the system that Godot has for UI, but I personally feel like it's a really good solution to making UI. Like, yeah, some of these menus end up having lots and lots of nodes, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, more nodes doesn't equal worse, you know? Maybe it's slightly harder to go through the scene tree. It might take you 10 more milliseconds to find the thing you're looking for. But you can also just filter, so it's not a big deal. But, you know, clearly, like, all the nodes in Godot have a purpose, right? I've always found a purpose for each one where I'm like, oh, you know what node would be perfect for this scenario, right? So I think it's a really good system, honestly. I appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. Everything Godot feels necessary, yeah. Which is great. I never felt like that with Unity, honestly, where it was sort of like, it felt like everything was just kind of random. Like, I didn't know, like, I don't know. Godot, it's so clear what things are supposed to be used for, and Unity to me just felt like just a lot, kind of a mess. I've always enjoyed using Godot so much more. And Godot is so lightweight and fast, you know, that's the other big thing. It's so pleasant to use. I'm glad I made the jump to Godot, because it was something I was, like, definitely considering, you know, or it's like, I don't know, should I? And then I decided to try it out. I just told myself, okay, I'm going to make a game in 1 week, and I'm just going to mess with Godot and see what I think about it. And then after doing that, I was like, man, this is actually pretty cool. I think I'm just going to keep using it. So it's a really good middle ground between something like Unity and GameMaker, where GameMaker was so simplified that I felt like I was battling the engine, and Unity was so heavy and overwhelming. It was just too much, and it was too slow, and it was like, it's like GameMaker is like a tricycle, where it's like so simple and childish in a way to where I'm limited, and then Unity is like a nuclear submarine where there's so many different knobs I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And Godot is just the perfect middle ground for me, I think. I was about to say the opposite. I feel like on some nodes I really have to dig to find what I want, but I also have not really put that much time into it. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, yeah, you have to experiment and learn and know what there is, right? I think you could say the same about any engine, really. I'm sure if I spent more time in Unity and really worked through all the features and tried to understand what they did, then I probably wouldn't. I probably would have had a better time with Unity, but I don't know. It was very hard for me to force myself to learn Unity. It didn't feel like that at all with Godot. It just felt like I wanted to learn versus needing to, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think this is looking good then. I might make it so this menu closes itself when you go into one of these other tabs, because it does feel a little bit weird, this just kind of hanging here, and then like not being able to close it again because the button's here. I might also add a little X button to this, honestly, just so you can close out of that tab anywhere. I think I'm gonna go do that. You have to be careful though, because this isn't like a normal menu. Because it just sets visibility, so I almost need a way to like disable them or something, right? So I can use these same nodes just for the visuals, but then right, like this. Because when I click this, it's probably going to it's going to close the main menu, I think. Let's go see what happens. BRB sounds good. Unity has a bunch of depreciated features. Yeah, it's got so many. I remember, like, that was one thing I always struggled with it. Yeah, it closes the whole menu. Where I would go through and it's like, I would start learning something, and then I realized like, oh, well, this feature is like super old and nobody's supposed to use it anymore. And then I'm like, okay, I just spent all that time doing that and it was pointless, you know? It's always really frustrating. So I'm gonna add a new export property to this. It's just like export var disabled, or like var dummy. It'll be false by default. So then if dummy, I just don't want to run any of this stuff. So that should work. Now I can just set both of these to dummy. And this should work now. What are some best practices you would recommend for large projects in terms of file structure, coding, globals? Yeah, I think definitely utilize signals. I have a lot of global signals that I use for connecting up all the game's logic. So if you look inside of here, you can see like just signals for when things happen in the world, right? So shop stats have changed, input type has changed, right? Stuff like that. Whether whenever I catch a fish, a lure changes, an inventory changes, decoration. All of these different signals help enormously in connecting everything to each other. So signals are great in a big auto load. You can just emit these wherever you want and then read them in wherever you want. So I recommend doing that for sure. It just helps. It really helps with performance too, because signals are, you know, good performance. You don't have to check every single frame. Just a thing happens whenever the signal's emitted, right? So there's no like, no checking every frame, which is great. And it's just super convenient to use. So definitely utilize signals in your global scripts. Another thing that I think has been really great that I've continued to use since Starground are data tables. And you can do it in multiple ways. You could like create resources for every single like item or object in your game, and that is a valid way to go about it too. But personally, I enjoy using like big dictionaries instead, because I just think it's significantly easier for me to copy from them and modify them instead of having to duplicate files and stuff. And I just don't like dealing with the files as much, right? I find it annoying. So what I do is like, for example, for the fish, there's like this big table of all the fish in the game, right? So that's what I do there. And each of these, they all have an ID and they're like the data associated with them. So ID goldfish, I can just grab. So like, let's say I want to get some info about the goldfish, right? I just say items table.get and then my fish ID. And I can get all of this information, right? So I can get the name of the fish, the sprite, the description, their rarity, the regions they're found in, all that kind of stuff. So it's just super convenient. I recommend doing big data tables like this. And you can do it through resources if you want, but I personally like using dictionaries instead. So... And you can just put these straight into global if you want. I have them as their own like files, but you could just throw them in an auto load like this and that would also work just fine. So, yeah, that helps like really organize things. And one of the big things it also helps with is updating games, because if you, like, let's say that somebody has an item stored in an inventory and you want to change the name of the item, right? If all you're using is the name of the item, like if you're storing the information about the item in the inventory, then when I update your game, you now have an item that is is obsolete or shouldn't be supported anymore, right? So instead of like storing all of the information about an item inside of an array or whatever, right? You just store the ID. And then the ID points to a table, right, that has the actual information about the item. So what's great is like I can do whatever I want over here. I can change the item, I can rewrite stuff and change the name or the effects or stats or whatever. I can do whatever I want. And it'll just automatically work because this item is just an ID. You know, it's just pointing to over here and saying, use this data. So it helps significantly for games and updating games. I find that I rarely ever have to worry about backwards compatibility because it just kind of works, you know? Unless I change something super significant, like I think you could still create a save and load in from the very first build and then go load up the newest build of the game and it's just going to work. It just works. There's no like incompatibilities that you run into, so. But yeah. I currently have data tables set up, but seem to be creating a lot of globals for data. Yeah. What I do is I just store all of these separate tables, not as individual globals, but in one global. So sort of the way I do it is like when you access the items table, right? I just say global.items table. I store it as variables instead. So you could look into doing that. You don't have to create a global for every single table, right? But yeah. Also, do you use enums much? I use an enum as an object ID that is then used in the data table. Yeah, you can do it that way. I always just use strings for my IDs because I just like the control that you have over a string. There have been some changes to enums recently, and I think it would make them a more valid way to do things. But the reason I like strings is because it's much more moddable. The problem with enums is I don't think it's very easy to modify enums and stuff. Yo, oh my goodness. Nick, thank you so much for all the subs. Let's go, we got 5. You got exposed non-chatters, yeah. 5 gifted subs, that's crazy. We need to do a confetti for every gift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. It's crazy. It's ominous whenever I see Hype Train started and I don't, because it starts before I actually see the notifications of what happened. But yeah, thanks so much for that. I really appreciate it. Oh no. No. Wait. Oh my god. But yeah, Ben, you can definitely use enums as your IDs. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. I just think I'm just more familiar with using strings. And maybe enums would technically be slightly faster or something like that. I don't know if they would be. I'd have to actually like make a project and test the performance to really determine that. But I've never found strings to be particularly slow or anything. So. But yeah, maybe one of these days I'll try using enums instead. Oh, just got some ads. Oh, I'm gonna wait for the ads to be over before I say anything then. There's a lot of cheese. Too much cheese, Oshik. Wait, why did it... I don't know why it... It said 2 seconds until cheese is reset. That's odd. But it didn't let you do it? That is a little strange. I'm gonna have to double check that code. Make sure it's working properly. Whoa. Cheese shortly after. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he did. Okay, I see, yeah. Alright, ads are over. Very sorry about that. Anyways, let me continue what I was saying. So yeah, enums are totally fine, I think. I don't know if enums are faster than strings or what. Like, I'd have to create a project and compare, like, set up some tests to compare whether strings or enums are more performant. But I don't think it matters in the long term. Even Starground uses strings, and the strings are not very slow or anything, so... But yeah. I think, enums are totally fine. The only thing I was saying about enums is they might be a little bit more difficult to implement modding support for, because strings are easy. You can just like pop a string into a list, and then you just have the ID immediately. With an enum, I think you'll have to directly like edit the enum list. I'm not sure. Enums are basically ints. Yeah, I think. I'd have to look into how enums work exactly behind the scenes, but they basically usually just convert straight to ints. Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll, you know, do things as an enum instead of a string. I just need to research it more. And less so research, but actually like, you know, literally messing with it, or like creating like a test project to see firsthand whether they are faster or not, right? For my use cases. Going longer than expected. I think we over cheesed, yeah. Okay, the cheese is finally gone. Oh my god. That was crazy. What was I even testing? I closed the game for some reason and reopened it. Oh yeah, now this should be a dummy hex. Yes, it is. Good. Good. So now what we'll do is kind of just connect it to the same signal that we connected for the other one, which is synergies pressed. Connect that guy. And then we connect this guy to synergies pressed. Boom. All right, let's restart the game and see if this works. Okay, cool. I seem to be trying to refactor everything at the moment, so if you have any general tips, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I think definitely like make lots of functions, you know? That's always very helpful. Hype train ended. Thank you so much, Nick, for all the gifted subs. I really appreciate it. It's very epic. Yeah, I think the more you separate out your logic. Oh, you got a new emote. Oh, let's go. Oh yeah, I might have also gotten it too. Let's see. Yeah, I earned a hype chest. Frog ponder. That's pretty epic. But the more you separate your logic into separate functions, the easier it is to reorganize their ordering and also just modify them. Because I think sometimes if you have a lot of code in one function, it's really hard to like, if you make a change, you might accidentally ruin what the code and the rest of the function is doing, right? So something I'd also recommend is doing early returns. I've been trying to do it more and more, and it's pretty helpful. Especially if you're moving code into their own functions, then early returns are great. So let's see, where do I have an early return? Somewhere in here. Like right here for this input event, right? I think I'm checking if like I should swap over to a different input type. But instead of wrapping all of this in a big if statement, I can just check if I'm not able to change input, return. Right at the very beginning of the function, instead of wrapping in if statements. So early returns are really, like, just visually, they're very easy to see and understand. And I imagine also performance-wise, it's more performant. Because you just check one thing, and if it's not true, you just immediately return. You don't have to check multiple things at the same time after it, right? Some of these have like a lot of early returns where I have to check multiple different conditions to see if I can do something, right? None of these have like a ton in here. I'm not really seeing any that have like a bunch. But in some of these areas, I do have quite a few. I think I should get rid of this function. Well, I'll leave it just in case. I've got a lot of functions in here, don't I? Some people look at the line count on the script and like they're disgusted by my coding and my formatting and stuff for my programming, but I don't think it's that bad. Honestly. The thing is like all these, they're all put into separate functions, all this code, right? Like I don't have one function that's like over 1,000 lines or something. It's multiple functions. So I don't think it matters. I think it's okay. Not gonna worry about it. But yeah, if anyone else has, suggestions for Ben, definitely say. Those are the two that I can think of right now, at least, but I'm sure there's probably more. You just land here from the early 2000s, or is the AI? I don't use any AI. I think I work much better without it, honestly. Here's the thing. Some people might say the AI is more efficient, or I can program faster. And, if that's even true, that's kind of a big if. But also, I kind of like programming and solving problems anyways, so it's like automating art. Like, if I enjoy doing the art, or I enjoy programming, I enjoy learning things and getting better at programming, then why would I automate that process for myself, right? Then what's the point of anything? If your whole life is automated, you might as well not be alive. That's what I think, at least. And what casing for everything would you recommend? You can do whatever casing you want. I am a little bit strange in the terms of how I do my casing, just because I use casing from other languages that I've used. Like, for all my variables, I tend to use camel case, where I start the first word lowercase and the second uppercase. I chose to do it that way because functions are always snake case, where they have an underscore between each word and it's all lowercase. And so I just liked having a way to kind of differentiate my variable names from a function. It's not a big thing, but if you want to do, though, like the accepted formatting for Godot, there is like a Godot formatting guide, the GDScript style guide if you're using GDScript. And you can follow this, and it gives you like examples on how to do all the proper formatting for everything, right? So you could go this route if you want to. Personally, I think I probably would have changed some of this formatting. Like, I do like using camel case for my variables a lot more, but it's whatever, though. I do all my dictionary entries as capital letters, so that is a good thing there. Trailing commas, always do a trailing comma. Blank lines. Yeah, I always do that too. Like, a lot of this stuff I do. I kind of break this sometimes just because I like how it looks. Sometimes makes the code a lot easier and denser. What is this? Good. Bad. Oh yeah, just like putting a bunch of these in one big long line, yeah. Avoid unnecessary parentheses, that's always a good thing. One of the things they say is do not use the and or operators like these two. I use them. I exclusively use them. To be honest, I think it's a lot easier for me to read because and or are not, they're the same characters as variables, right? And so sometimes it almost just like at first glance, and looks like a variable name or something, right? I like how this is like, I never use these symbols anywhere else. It's only for and or. And so for me, instantly, like visually, it's super obvious. But they just say do it just because they're more accessible. Like this is a guide. It's suggestions. I don't think anybody should ever like, I don't think it matters to adhere completely to the style guide. Now, if you're working with like a bunch of other people or something, or you're creating like a public project, then I think it's good to follow a standard styling guide. But if it's just yourself, then just use the styling that is the most helpful for you, right? I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, they don't use camel case in anything, and I feel like that's kind of a wasted opportunity. I mean, why not use camel case? They have Pascal case, snake case, constant case, but no camel case. So I don't know. Yeah, good point. I always just use whatever comes to mind. Yeah. It's always an option to use emojis as variable names as well. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. I think it's best to use ASCII characters. I imagine with compilation, it probably has to work a lot harder to like compare variable names and stuff if you're using emojis. Because that's going to be encoded as like a UTF-16 thing where ASCII is way smaller. So I use Snakecase for everything, but as my project gets longer, I feel I'm getting lost quickly in my code, so I think I need to go through all my scripts and combine cases. Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I think they are working on, I know in their like vision statement that they put out or their feature list, they want to have a tool that for refactoring that makes renaming variables like that in mass a lot easier. So I'm excited to see that eventually make it to Godot. Yeah, I think the best way to go about casing is just make everything a little bit different. And I don't mean like do like stupid crazy casing that's hard to write, you know, like alternating case or something would be very bad. But you know, pick one for your variables, pick one for your classes, and like it's totally fine to have some of them overlap. But like personally, I like to make all of them slightly different, right? Like I like to make my variables camel case, but I do like to make my signals and my functions snake case. So I think it's just, and I do all my node names as Pascal case and my class names. So I'd say like I follow the normal formatting for the most part. Really the one big difference is just enums I do as constant case. I mean, I don't need to do it that way. I don't know. I just did. Well, I do the actual enums as constant case, but also the name of the enums, right? I don't know. Maybe that's a bad idea to do it that way, but it's fine. That'll be a very useful tool. I definitely think so, yeah. A lot of this stuff they have planned, I think, will be really cool. Because they have that's like the Godot future feature list, or whatever they call it. The priorities list, this one. Right, and they have a big list of everything they want to get added into Godot. This is just sort of a way to kind of unify the community, I think. So it's kind of clear to people what needs to be done. Yeah, it's in here somewhere, I think, an editor. Implement GDScript refactoring tools. Right, in order to rename variables and symbols across the code base. We intend to add this into our internal GDScript code editor. So this would be pretty nice. Yeah, this is a pretty popular pull request, or this is a pull request. This is just like an issue. It does have a pull request associated with it though, doesn't it? Whoa. See, like this is what they're talking about, where you can like click on a name and then rename it. This seems really cool though. So people are working on it already. I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it in for something like 4.8. Because it doesn't seem like a super insane thing to implement. I like separating out variables as a mix, like data1, check read, data1, current status, yeah. Like see, you can do it whatever way works best for you, right? I don't think there's a right or wrong way to format things necessarily. I've seen so many different ways people have formatted their stuff, because some people like do that where they put like they do like camel case in one section and then have an underscore, you know, and then have like a different name like that, like you're saying, Nick. Like that's a totally valid way to go about naming stuff, you know. You could do constant case. I wouldn't recommend constant case because you're gonna be mixing your variables in with constant case variables like this. So it's nice to have those two very obvious from each other, but you know, I don't even know what is the benefit of using constant in Godot. I mean, is there a reason to? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, LuxSpark, is that an unfortunate typo, or do you mean to say that word instead of fastest? Great for autocomplete suggestions if you forget the variable name. When you're working on data 1, only relevant ones come up. When you type that, yeah. It prevents double naming and overriding by mistake, yeah. It's a pretty good way to go about it. So let's see. I guess that's how I'll announce that like a player has gotten a new synergy, is like a little thing at the top or something. I want to do that for when you've unlocked one. I think if you already have one unlocked and you get it, I don't want it to be like a big deal. I might do a tiny little sound effect or some little ding or something, just so you know that a synergy has been activated. But I don't want it to be like a big, massive announcement kind of thing, right? Because it's mainly just something you're going to be looking at in here, like, oh yeah, my synergy's at that now. But yeah, unlocking synergies though. Little thing at the top. Synergy unlocked. I should totally record that voice line and put it into the game. Synergy unlocked. Carp kids. Imagine I go through and voice every string in the game. That'd be insane. When you hover over it. Capacity, 5 out of 8. Carp. Miranda. Goldfish. Koi. That'd be so annoying. Imagine. Okay, so let's work on a little pop-up panel thing. Be cool to have like a sick shader effect or something for when it appears. I don't know, maybe we could experiment. I think the classic is that it like fades in as white and then fades to normal and then fades out to nothing. I think that's the usual. So this will be really easy. I'm just going to add a panel container, right? Set this to center top. We're also going to say mouse ignore. And now size. I don't know what size we're going to do. We'll figure that out. Rich text label, and we can say synergy unlocked. No scrolling, no auto wrapping. Corp kids, right? Something like that. And call this notification. I'm gonna set up some code for activating notification. So let's go get a static reference to it. It's gonna be a type of panel container, and it's gonna be this. Okay, so now we'll just have a function in here. Function queue notification. So I'm gonna add a queue for these notifications, right? Because I don't want it to be something where it's instantly overrides it, probably. Well, do I want to do a queue? I don't think you're ever gonna have a case where you need to do a queue. It will be easier to avoid doing a queue system right now. I'll do it later if I find that it actually is necessary, but I don't want these showing up fast enough to have a queue. I think that would be kind of annoying. So show notification. For now, I'm probably just going to enter in text, right, as a string. And then we say notification.text is equal to text. And now notification, I want to get like get tree, create tween. Also, we're going to play a sound here. So let's go ahead and add a audio stream player. I don't know what the sound should be. There's a notification. That's that one. I don't want it to be the same one. There's a pop. Oh, that one loops. I forgot. We do the single pop one. Oh, so I don't need to call. Have I been doing get tree.create tween? Okay, no, I haven't. Oh, excuse me. Goodness. Voice lines for each fish. Talk to you from the tank. Yeah. Make a new Twitch reward. Voice a fish. Oh man. Maybe like an April Fool's update next year. We'll do that. Like, hello, I am a carp. Hey, I'm an oarfish. All right, tween.tween property. And now I want to set the notification dot modulate equal to color like 2. The alpha will be 0 though. So we're gonna move notification modulate A up to 1.0. And then once it reaches 1.0, we're going to do all of modulate down to color.white over the course of 1 second. This one will be like 0.5 or something. And then we wait a certain amount of time, right? Tween interval, like let's say 4 seconds. And then we fade to modulate A 0, right? All right, I'm gonna do this var notification tween, type of tween. So if notification tween, I'm gonna kill the last tween and then create a new one. Yeah, we should be good to go. Legit think we need fishes or subscriber badges. The store has bored me. Yeah. Is that a thing you can do on Twitch? Can I set custom subscriber badges? Creator badge drops. I don't think that's the same thing. Rewards. Channel points, watch streaks. Emotes. I'm not seeing it in here yet. I don't know where else it would be. Community, maybe? Roles. Yeah, it might be a partner only thing. Let's look it up. Twitch custom sub badges. Can earn custom badges by subscribing or watching the stream. So do I have to do it through the drop system? Maybe that's what it is. My birthday celebration. Creator badge rewards. I guess that's how it has to work, because it has to be an event. It's kind of unfortunate. So I can create an event and then add all the different... Okay, so it's just an individual badge. I guess you have to gift a subscription to do it. Then a watch time reward too. Okay. Well, we could do it through that way. It's kind of unfortunate you have to spend money though to get it. But yeah, if you want to look into it, let me know definitely if that's a thing. I'm not be sure, but I've seen people make like little mustaches or plants that grow the longer people have been subbed. Yeah, right. Like I feel like that's a thing I've seen. I just don't know where that is though. It's not in rewards or anything, I don't think, or drops or emotes. There's bits tiers, so that is a thing that I could do. But that's still like an emote. That's not a badge. So yeah, I don't know where you would do that. It's not under community. That's the only other place I would think of. Monetization, moderation, settings, stream, server-side transcode. What is that? I have to look into that. Enable clips, clip reactions, raids. There's all the channel stuff. Streamer survey. I don't want to do any of that stuff. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't see any other place in here to do it, unfortunately. It's not under analytics. So it might be only through the drop thing. I don't know. I know that's a thing you can do on YouTube. But with like the memberships. Yes, what is this? Transcodes. Okay. So you can purposely send multiple video qualities. You could do some crazy stuff with that. Cause couldn't you like change the stream for people on different qualities then? I imagine. It shows creator dashboard settings affiliate, which I did not see that tab for you. Oh. Creator dashboard. Settings. Yeah, I don't know, like they've changed a lot of things over time, so see, it might be like somewhere in here or something, right? Like stream events. Yeah, our affiliate anniversary. Featured content. Schedule, brand, about. We're almost at 2. I thought we were already at 2,000 followers. I might have gotten unfollowed, I don't know. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere in here, right? Where is my affiliate settings? I don't even know. Is that gonna be like monetization or something? Oh, there is affiliate there. Let me go see. That's just for getting money from monetization. Oh, subscriptions? It might be this. Emotes. Subscription names. Those are tier, like different tier subscriptions. Subscriber badges. Oh my god. Okay. Here it is. Hey, David Huffman, welcome in. Oh, so I can't even put this one on because the channel hasn't existed for that long yet. I guess it's existed for 3.5 years. Yeah, I made the channel a while ago before I even streamed, I think. But yeah, we can do it in here, so it'd be fun to add in all the different, like, versions of our fish and stuff. I mean, we already have the fish. Sprite's done. So. And then I can, like, change all the different ones. 3-month, 9-month. Bookmark it, don't lose the tab. I know, real. Let's do that. Bookmark bar. And then custom flares. I don't know what a custom flare is. These will be overlaid on your existing badges. I'll have to look in all this stuff and figure out like what this stuff means. Oh, okay, so you can do a custom flare for tier 2 and 3 badges. That's what it is. Okay. I see. Yeah, would you ever do a tier 2 or 3? It doesn't like do anything. So there's all these different things. Bonus subscriber benefits. That's the merch discount or whatever. I don't have merch. Subscription discount promotions. Oh yeah, we still have like some... We have 48 hours of promos remaining. So I could like... I get up until next year or something to use these, I think. Oh, shows when I'll unlock more. I unlock more promos on May 1st, 2026, August, and November. Okay. And then category-wide bonus subscriptions. Partner brands may watch your viewers' gift sub purchases with bonus gift subs. Or may match. Oh, okay. So what are these? I have to like join a... It just brought me here. I don't know. Just says no active campaigns. Alright. I'm assuming this... If I turn that off, it doesn't make it ad-free for everyone, right? That's just so you... Yeah, I think so. Imagine getting, like, setting up subs or being affiliated and then not allowing subscribers to watch ad-free. That's insane. Oh my god. I would consider doing 2 or 3 for you and 2 other people. Well, thank you. Having Twitch Turbo, that's... Yeah, no, I totally feel it. I think if at that point you might as well just get Twitch Turbo, right? Oh yeah, these are my payout options. I probably shouldn't show those. But let's close all that. All right, cool. Well, now I finally found the panel, so I'll probably set that up because that'd be kind of cool. Anyways, yeah, I'd like to do just like, I guess we could do all the different fish rarities or something, or like they can get more expensive. Maybe we start with like a bunch of common fish and then go into the rare fish and then legendary fish for the last 2. I don't know if anyone's been subscribed for that long. I don't know. That'd be pretty crazy. For 3.5 years? I don't think so, but maybe, who knows? Okay. So I think this should work. Oh yeah, okay, we're just gonna use the pop-up sound right now, it'll be fine. So I'm gonna try calling this function, show notification. And that's gonna be inside of whenever we recalculate our synergies. I found synergies right here. I push back the found synergy, then I'm also gonna go ahead and call global... I didn't call it that before. Global UI. Show notification. And we're just gonna say test. Yeah. Make sure it works. Let's go see what happens. So it should kind of appear and flash white and then come back to normal and then fade away. That's the theory. Oh, I don't want to say notification here. I just want to say notification like that. Doesn't Godot have support for multi-cursor? How does that even work? I always forget about that, and then I remember it again. I'm like, that's so weird. What is it complaining about? Oh, I have to say notification, rich text label, whatever. Let's do this. Let's try this out. Okay. Test, yeah. So it did add it. Hold on, wait, I didn't get like a chance to even see it happen though. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do this in process so I can hit a button to test it. I think it's test. I love when it doesn't actually copy. I have to like hit it like 10 times for it to copy. I don't know what the deal is with that. I wish Godot they would fix that issue in a new version of Godot because it's so annoying. All right, and then what is my test button binded to? R. All right, watch this, guys. Okay, so that initial fade in is a bit too slow. Let's fix that. Also, I think the initial like color should be brighter. So let's do like 0.25 there. Maybe 0.5 on the white. Let's see what that looks like. It's pretty good. I think that could work. I'll probably increase the font size here because it's a little small. But yeah, flashes white and kind of fades out. Yeah. All right, so now we have to fill it out with actual information. Let's go do that. Okay, so... Also, I don't think it's playing a sound, is it? Oh yeah, I have to actually call pop-up. There we go. Okay, we have to find a cool notification sound. Notification. Common 0. No. 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 That's not a notification.
Attention, attention. Move to the secure location.
No. I can't even hear that one. No. Okay, that's a bird. All too long and too crazy. Okay, what is that? All right, we're that's the final straw. We're opening up FL Studio. I will not take this anymore. Ooh. The fruit is shrinking. What is the FL Studio fruit? Is it like a persimmon or something? I guess. All right. What should I use? The funny little sound would be fine. I think Vital has a lot of sounds. Let's look at what they got. Sorry if this is really loud, by the way. I can't seem to hit my keyboard for some reason. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's like some of these are extremely... Okay, well I can hit it there. Okay, let's look at different styles. Not bass, maybe lead. Moving harmonics. Oh my god. Oh my god. None of those really fit the vibe. I think those would be a little... I do actually like that one though. Maybe that could work. I think we'll do easy mallet probably, unless one of these are epic. No. Squish clicker. No, we'll do where'd it go? Easy mallet. Okay, and let's just make a little jingle. Let's go pretty high pitched. Oh, too slow. we'll do a low tone like this. I think that'll be fine. All right, how do we export this? WAV. Ideally in the load in folder. Sounds. Notification top. Sure. We'll save it as li notification. Close. Get out of everything. Restart everything. Okay. Notification top. And I think we're good to go. Did I? Okay, I left remainder. We're good. All right, so now we can test it out again. Let's do a larger font size. Like 32 pixels or something crazy like that. Let's see. We should use our new little jingle now. Oh, it already went. Why did it instantly go? Oh, because I guess it immediately updated the synergies, and so it thought that it found one already, which is a little funny. But yeah, it's nice. The bus is quiet. Let's change it to SFX. Does feel a little quiet, I feel like. Well, that's good. I think it's fine. All right. See, I feel like font size 32 is probably pretty good. It's funny, we could just show it with nothing. And it'll just be invisible. Well, it won't be invisible, but almost. All right, so let's do this for real now. So back into here, show notification. So we're going to formulate our string. So it's going to say synergy found. And then the name of the synergy on bottom. It'll probably be gray. Alright, I don't even need to do that. So we're going to say tr synergy found. And then let's say var synergy data is global dot synergies.get id synergy data dot yeah, that name. Okay. I don't know why this is invalid. Oh, am I already getting synergy data? Oh. Okay, let's do that. So, and then I just push this. Pass in S. Let's make the initial font size pretty big. At least 32. I might go like 48 for this one, and then the other one is like 24. So let's see what this looks like when we find a synergy now. I wish there was a way I could like reset my synergies. I don't know. If we add synergies in the future, what's probably going to happen is people just get a bunch of synergies immediately when they launch the game, which is fine. Also, it's not centered at all. So we have to say center, and I think we go 32 for the big text. It was a little bit too big. I think I'm just gonna test it with this same... It's annoying though, I can't like... Here, you know what? Let's do this. I'll just remove all the synergies. with my test function, right? So found synergies back to an empty array and then say update tank synergies or whatever. What was it? Update tank synergies. And does that call the signal in here? Oh, why is my Godot so slow? I mean, you guys see how slow it is, right? I don't know what's going on. It feels like it's happened ever since I got the new version. I don't know. All right. Boom, synergy found. Garb kids. Crazy. 4.3 versions being like that too? Yeah. I mean, I've had performance issues with Godot in the past, but then, like, it's been fine recently for these past couple updates, so I don't know what they did this time to make it so slow. I feel like it's still, like, too slow. I want these two things to happen at the same time, honestly. So I want to set those to be parallel, and then say tween.set parallel false. I think it's what I want. Now the white is too slow. Let's try that. That just looks stupid. Also, this doesn't like actually get pure white, which is, I think, part of the problem. I don't really want it to like just be like brighter. This is kind of weird. Now it's like broken. Didn't run the other thing. Oh, because it's gonna run the other thing parallel or whatever, so I have to do that. Whoa, well that one went pure white. But I felt way too long. Let's try again. That's more like how I want. It's better, I guess. Maybe what I should do then is make it, I don't know. Make it normal modulation. Instead of this going up toward that, we just make modulation go up toward our bright modulation, right? Like, let's say 8. Like that. Let's try this. That's better. Yeah, it's more like how I want it, I think. Alright. So yeah, that should help. So now if you don't have that synergy before... So here, I just reset the synergies. So now when I add a carp into there, right? It's gonna do... Boom, synergy found, carp kids. So I think that's good. Clean all of the fungus, all the algae off. Alright. Alrighty. Well, that's working. I guess synergies are done. Can you guys think of anything else we need to do for this? Let's check out, like, let's test some of these other synergies. I also want to make sure that we're able to put multiple in the same thing. So we need all the algae eaters. Or let's do the one where it's like the cheapo guys or whatever. And then there's the minnow. Somewhere right here. So yeah, synergy found. Then you can see they're both active, so you're saying 1.5 times 1.25, right? So it's compounding. So 1.5 times 1.25 becomes that. And then if you get like another in there, it just gets even more crazy, like another 1.5, another 1.5. So you can see how synergies quickly become extremely powerful if you really stack a bunch of them. You can get insane. I mean, look at this. Like, so really, I think the goal end game is going to be to find like one of every fish. So there's a reason to go back to the older places and get these fish again. And it's going to be to stack as many synergies as you possibly can, right? So, but yeah, I think this should be cool. And then we can also throw in those guys. So we need tadpole, snail, scrimp. Okay. This guy, wherever the tadpole is, snail, scrimp. He's in here somewhere. Unless I sold him. There he is. Boom. Yeah, so that bonus is already like really crazy. Now, yeah, like it takes up a lot of space to get that bonus, right? So that is like the downside to it. But obviously there has to be some kind of compromise. So, but you can see like having this guy in here, he's worth a lot of money, and so it's kind of worth it to get that. Because that 80 per minute is going to be multiplied by 2.81. So it's like you almost have 3 of these guys in this tank now. So if you really stack up the synergies properly, or like really focus on the ones too that are fewer fish, like we'll have to balance synergies, make sure that they're actually worth it. But I think it'll be fun. I like how it's just like it's like another little like exploration process too, right? Where you have to kind of experiment and discover and figure out how they, you know, figure out all the different synergies. So hopefully it'll be fun for everybody to mess with. I will be putting this update out like pretty soon, hopefully. So just to give everybody a chance to experiment with all the new mechanics, because there's a lot of them. We've got all the new building expansions, large tanks, lures, fish synergies now, a whole nother layer to it. And also probably maybe bait also. I'll see if we implement that for this update. I might not do bait yet. I think I might wait for the next update for that. Because that's like a whole nother can of worms I'm opening. But I think this update should have a lot to offer. I also do want to hopefully get another region done for this update. I really do want to do the coral reef. There's a lot of fish we could add for that. So, I don't know, maybe we get started on it right now. Who knows? Well, before I do that, though, there's a couple more little quirks and bugs I want to fix. They're pretty minor, but really it just comes down to decorations down here. They should not be editable or interactable when they're in a zone that you don't have unlocked. Because what happens here is I go to place down a crate, and it shows the decoration spots that are not in a region I have unlocked, right? Which is a little broken. So I don't want that to work like that anymore. What are all these? Notification is being shadowed. Oh, notification is like a method. Okay, there's some things that we have to do here. Parameter values never used here. Let's go ahead and make that like that. Blur changed is never explicitly used. Let's change that to warning ignore. Unused signal. Okay. Then yeah, we have to change the name of this notification variable. Notification panel. Do that instead. Boom. Alrighty. Let me also make sure I'm not calling notification somewhere. Now we're good. Okay, so let's go add this to the changelog, I suppose. Added fish synergy bonuses. A new ascension unlock. Snooze the ad. Okay, so what next? Let's figure out how to fix the decorations. Gonna have to think about that one. I'm not 100% sure how. What I'll have to do is tell each decoration like where they're a part of, in terms of the region, right? So that's what we're gonna have to do here. I should also make it so this button flashes whenever it's like the first time you've just unlocked it or whatever. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. Hopefully it should be kind of obvious though that the button exists. So let's see here. So yeah, I mean, I think this should be somewhat straightforward. I just have to stop them from being valid whenever they are in a region that is not unlocked. So I just have to have like a property on all of these different decorations that just says what region are they assigned to, like what level of expansion. And then I'll just have another check whenever I'm placing down a decoration, or just make it so they're just completely invalid. And it'll just say if in region or if expansion is less than this level, then don't do it. Okay. I think that's all we need to do. Man, I can't see anything in here. Why is the tank menu visible by default in here? I'm just gonna make it invisible. All of these menus are visible by default, which is kind of funny. Also, the old tutorial menu, that's just kind of gone. It's still chilling up there. What is this? Oh, it's the shop stats. That's a little annoying. Okay, anyways. Decoration spots. So everything up until 7. These guys are all part of expansion 1. So I'm going to say up here at onReady var expansion level is an int equal to 0. So I'm going to select all these. And unfortunately, it doesn't let you... Can't appear to set settings on these. Oops, I said onReady. That would be why. So all these guys, boom, expansion level 1, right? So now I should hopefully be able to make those not active whenever the expansion's not active. So I have a lot of checks in here for all this stuff. And I can make all this work. So frame.visible and all that stuff. Anchor.scale, I can change all that. Set selected, hover. I'll just create a variable, which is var available is equal to global dot get upgrade level of li dot upgrade dot expansion is greater than or equal to our current expansion level requirement. So if it's not available, I don't really want it to run any of this stuff. Well, I guess I do still need it to, because it's like setting whether things are visible or whatever. But I'll just set this in here now. Visible is that and available, right? So that should be all good to go now. Now, did I set my modulate in here? I do set modulate at the beginning to white. So I'm setting sprite modulate. I don't know why I'm setting that one to white at the beginning. Oh, I think I am doing that for when I hover over it or whatever. So I'm gonna test something. This probably won't work, but I would do self-modulate. Did I use self-modulate anywhere? That's gonna be problematic if I ever have other sprites attached. So I'm just gonna say color.gray if it's not available. Otherwise say color.white, right? That's probably gonna break everything, but we'll see what happens. Let's go try it out. Yeah, we have an ad going on. My apologies. Feels like we've had so many ads this stream. Maybe Twitch increased their ad count. All right, so these are deactivated, so you can see they are kind of grayed out down here now. I think these use not gray, but dim gray. I'm not mistaken. And it appears that me hovering over these still works fine. I don't know how that works then, because if I go into here with aquarium cursor, I check for decoration spot, right? Right here. And I also have to check another thing here, and body.available. So shouldn't be able to do any of that stuff now. Apparently you can't call available. I probably misspelled it. No, available. Oh, I made it a... Oopsies. Alright. So this should work now. Then hopefully we won't be able to place decorations down onto the decoration spots either. Because now we're checking if it's a valid, like we just say, and it's available. So if it's not available, we shouldn't be able to interact with it anymore. So let's go test it. So yeah, I just can't click on these anymore, right? They are uninteractable. These ones I can mess with. So if I go ahead and buy a decoration, we should see I can't, it does not let me put it on these spots anymore. I can only put it on these ones. But let's go ahead and buy the next expansion now, right? Expansion, boom. Now I can select them. Their normal modulation. Cool. I mean, that's basically it. And then if I go into the shop to place down a new decoration, we can see, boom, all the spots are accessible. That was a lot easier to implement than I thought it would be. So now I have to think of another thing to do. It's good that this is how development has been going recently. It's always scary making these big changes like this right before launch, but it's honestly been going really well. And I've been able to get an enormous amount of new things added. We're only a couple weeks away, but it's been going good though. So large fish require large tanks. And now, of course, there might still be problems that I'm not aware of. We'll see. I have to update the game and have everybody test it out and make sure, but... So that's been fixed. I could change the... Yeah, I do need to change the tank, the name that displays on the big tank, because right now it just shows the ID. So it shows big tank 6, or it just shows tank 6 and 7. I needed to show like large tank 1 and large tank 2. So, heard what you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was playtesting some while listening in. Ah, nice. Yeah, if you run into any issues, let me know. Yeah, it just shows fish tank 7 up there, which is a little bit broken. Should be really easy though. I can just check what is the tank. If it's a large tank, then change the ID. Change the number on it. So go to tank menu. And now I'm probably going to have to also change that. Add a new translation key for it. So in setup, set the text somewhere. What label am I editing? Just a label. Yeah, fish tank number. Now we need large tank or large fish tank number or whatever. English translations. Okay. Then add an explanation. Be used to describe. Show what number of large fish tank you are in. Boom. I have no idea how it's done, but do you think there's a way to make things you're hovering over transparent when there is a tip tag behind it? Well, I'll go into it and figure out exactly what you mean. Okay, so that's set. Let me copy this key and then we'll discuss that further. Oh wait, I have to say if global.is tank big tank ID, then I want to change the text here. I also have to change what number is. So normally it'll be tank ID +1, but if it's a large one, I want it to be number string tank ID +1 -6. And then I say over here, number is equal to number. I don't know if that throws an error. It doesn't look like it does. And then I need to change this actual string here. Change this to boom tank string. So tank fish number, then here it's going to be large fish tank number. So hopefully that all works out. Let's go try it out. So now it shows large fish tank 1, and this one is just normal fish tank 1. Cool. So let's go fix that. Boop. Okay, so when there's a tooltip, so a way to make things transparent when there's a tip tag behind it. So specifically what like tip, like are you talking about the tooltips that appear when you hovered over? Oh, money bag, not tooltip. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, make it so that if somebody walks over a money bag or something, they become like semi-transparent and unclickable. I could probably do that. I just need to make it so that money bags are always prioritized. I think what happens is that it should be significantly easier also right now because now that the shop's bigger, that the customer's more spread out. What we can do though, I think, is if I go through the code, I need to just check if the new hover object is a money bag, and then if it is, always force it to be that one selected. Because right now what happens is that if you hover over a person, it doesn't check to hover over a new thing until you like leave that object. So like, let's say you have a money bag here and you hover over someone. Even if they walk like onto where the money bag is, it's still going to be selecting the person, if that makes sense. It sounds a little weird, but at least I think that's what's happening. So I want to see if that's something I can change. I'll do a test and have like 1 billion people in the shop just to see if it works. I need to set like a priority for money bags, right? Let's see. Can't wait to try the new store layout too. By the way, sent the girlfriend a playtest invite like a month or 2 ago. Nice. That's awesome. Let's go. I did award her 3 playtest invites, even though she just accepted today. Yeah. Yeah, I have it set up with the playtest where you can't sign up for it anymore, but you can still invite other people. So I did that just because some people would go to... Why am I logged out? I don't know what happened. Some people would go to the store page and be confused because they're like, you know, there's a demo and playtest, and it's like, oh, I don't know which one to do. And then, so I just wanted to avoid that issue. Instead, I changed it so it's just demo, because that's the main thing I want people to be playing anyways, right? So I think it helps avoid a lot of issues. Let's go. Goop. I'm sorry, I was not active in the chat. Absolutely, it's not game breaking anyway, but it would just be a huge quality of life improvement to be able to get it to it easier. Yeah, for sure. I think we can fix it here. So this is how I do my checking. I check if I'm not dragging or I don't have a held customer. And then I always check here. So I am checking the money bag at priority. So it should always check the money bag first. Where I say new object is body. And then I don't call reset object though. Oh, but here's the thing. So new object's not equal to object. This is probably where we get into the issue. So I call reset object there and then say object to the new object. So as far as I can tell, it should be working. Let's go ahead and test it. I could also make it so the money bags have like a larger radius in which you can select them, like past their sprite, and that would kind of make it easier to grab them because you wouldn't have to be as precise. And then let's say set upgrade li dot. Oh, I pressed R. I was like, why did that just happen? Upgrade dot marketing. Let's set it to. Let's do 500. I think I did it wrong. It's advertising, not marketing. I probably just got an insane amount of... Oh, that's merchandise. Okay. Then we load back in. There should be quite a couple people here. So let's see if we can spot any money bags. I do have donations now, so they should be dropping them. I don't have it off or anything, so... Any second. If this is a bug, then I might have to fix it. Because they should have dropped one by now, for sure. I think it might be because the timer that activates the donation process starts off at being like, 1 minute long or something. And it doesn't actually update the time until the second, like, go around of the timer activates. Actually, that time grab, wonder if having 2 people made an issue. Interesting. I don't know. We'll have to check it out. Just waiting for some money bags to drop here. So far, nothing. Eventually, come on. Come on. Okay, there must be some kind of bug here then, right? I just unlocked donations. What's going on? Let's go look at the aquarium scene and code. Where's the donation stuff? Oh, isn't it inside of customer or something? It's like, I check how many customers there are. Where do I do this? Oh, I'm gonna search. What? Oh, I have whole words on. That's why I can't find it. I'm like, God dang it. Okay, so we have this variable called bag time. So it starts off at being 0. And then we call set bag time. Oh, so we just do it based off of bag time, base bag time, divided by molt. So it changes based off the puppy upgrade. But base bag time doesn't get changed, so... So we call that. Oh, so I have the donations at a consistent rate. I didn't realize I did it that way. So you'll get the same number of donations regardless of how many customers you have. But if you get more puppies to get more donations, then they should start coming in a lot faster. I kind of forgot that's how that worked. It's okay now. It is letting me grab behind multiple people. I'm just done, but it's more about being able to see it through them in the first place. Oh, okay. That's all good. Yeah, I mean, we could... I don't know how we would go about that. There are shaders you can do, but I bet I would have to put a shader on the NPCs for that to work. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, I heard a money bag drop. Yeah, see, I mean... oh, well, I did find it. But I could absolutely see how it would be almost nearly impossible. Also, that text should not be affected by lighting. Money bag rare. Where do I do that? Cache text. Let's go ahead and set this to be unshaded. Oh. Boom. Material. Boom. Let's go make that change. Made it so cache pop-up texts from money bags are now unshaded. Go to top layer and hover, but it wouldn't look as nice that way. Yeah, you get some weird like walking issues because people would like step behind. They'd always like be behind the bag, so it'd probably look a little bit janky that way. How else could we do it? I mean, they are a light source. It's hard to tell in areas that are bright, though, that they are a light source, right? So, I don't know if that necessarily works. No, see that? Look at that. Watch. I'm hovered over the bag, but it doesn't select the bag until somebody walks away. It's still happening. I gotta figure out why. I bet it's because it doesn't search for a new object if I've already found one or something. I knew there was something weird going on here. But I'm not doing anything super weird. I am resetting it every single frame. Window focus, buttons hovered, it's none of that. It's pretty weird. I'm gonna print out what new object is. Then an output. See, it shows all the customers and it just... Even though I should, right now, be selecting the money bag. What is with that? It's like it takes my focus. It's not even checking for new... Oh, you know what it probably is? This is checking for collisions, right? Body and overlapping bodies. I mean, it's normal. Let's go look at the number of collisions that are allowed for that. Because that could be part of the issue here, I think. Where is it? Cursor, right here. And I am allowing... Or it's just an area, so I don't think it has any, like, limit on how many bodies it can check for. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on with that. It's pretty weird. It's like it's just skipping certain bodies and not like paying attention. I originally imagined like a small circle around it doing fall off transparency. Yeah, could maybe look into something like that. There could be like a cool shader we could do. Yeah, why does this not work? It sets the new body. Body is money back. Oh, is it because... I think I know what's happening here. Right? So since this calls break, it loops through. The first body it checks is not a money bag. So it just keeps going, right? And it finds the next one, which is a customer. And then it breaks. And so it depends on the order of how they appear in here. So having these lines break is actually bad. I'm pretty sure. And I want to make sure that like the customer is the very last object that gets selected, right? So let's move this down. Because their selection doesn't really matter so much. There we go. Now it's... seems to be working, I think. Oh, wait, maybe not. Do I have any other breaks in here? I don't. Body is money bag. It's gonna loop through all of them, so... No, but this doesn't work either, because it's just gonna loop through again, and then if it finds the other one... See, I need to, like, know, like, if it is a prioritized object, that it picks that one first. It's almost like I have to have, like, a list of, like, selection priorities for each object. You know what I mean? It's a little complicated. Well, I really just want it on the money bag. So, if a money bag is ever found, then I want it to instantly break the loop and only select the money bag, right? The other ones are kind of like whatever, just fight for selection, but money bag should always be number one. Yeah, that's better. So now we can select guys in here still, and like everything is fine. I don't really have to worry about what gets selected for like the decorations because NPCs can't walk onto decorations, so it's fine. But now, if there's ever a money bag, it will always select the money bag first. Okay. Type break to break situation. Yeah. So that works pretty well. So you can kind of just like do this. What you could also do, what would make collecting these a lot easier, by the way, nobody really knows much about this, but if you click and hold and just keep dragging around, it'll automatically collect the bags without having to click again, like this. So you can kind of just slide your mouse all over and get all the bags that way. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I do agree, though, it is annoying when you can't see the bags, so I want to figure out a way to do that. So there are a lot of different shaders and stuff. There are some, like, silhouette shaders that you can do where if, like, a sprite is obstructed, then it kind of, like, gets displayed through, but I imagine that those are probably kind of complicated to set up. I think batted some glow would work too. I do actually have some glow on the bags. I think it might only be for the rare bags though, which is probably why it doesn't work. Yeah, I'm trying to think how it would work. gotta be a way to do it. Whoa, an anti-aliased. Oh. Well, that's scary. An anti-aliased color swap. How does it know? How does it work? This is fascinating. Hold on, I must sign in. Remember me. Interesting. We talked about that, making them always on top, but it would just look really bad because you'd see like customers walking underneath the bags. Yeah, so it would be a little janky. I do think there's a way that we could do like a silhouette shader. Like a X-ray shader, I think is what they call those, or something like that. I can't seem to search today. Is something broken? Uh-oh. Oh, now it searches. Okay. I have to refresh the page to search. That's so weird. Well, X-ray doesn't work. I don't know how to spell silhouette. Oh, it was right there. Silhouette. There's nothing there. I forget what that effect is called. It's like pass through or like, you know. I don't remember. This is annoying. What is that called? Where you can like see objects behind other things. Right? I know it has a name. Shader to see player behind a wall. What is that called? I just need to know what people call it. It's kind of like an outline or like... See, it's like this, right? With this shader. Wireframe shader. I don't think that's the shader that I want. If that's using depth, I don't think you can use depth on canvas shaders. Pretty sure that's a 3D only. But I've seen a bunch of 2D ones in here. I just can't remember what it's called. Rudiger arrow. Whoa. I swear I saw it in here one time. I was like, oh, that's a cool little shader. That'll be useful. Oh well. I may not be able to find it. I just don't know what you would even like. That's the problem. I don't know what the word is for it. It's like a... Not an X-ray shader. It's not necessarily like an outline shader. So I really like how this grass looks. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I need to save this one. So keep looking up random words that might work. It could be like an outline thing. But probably not. I wish there were more sorting options on Godot shaders. I mean, this is all just going to be regular outline stuff, right? See, I mean, this is what I want, like a silhouette shader. That's what I thought they were called. But maybe they're not called that. It's being described as a see-through shader. We could check that too. Okay, now I'm finding a bunch of them all of a sudden. Did I misspell silhouette? Okay, well, that one's spatial. Or it's probably because I was sorted by canvas item, and there's not that many for canvas items. That's why. But I bet there's a bunch of spatial ones. Well, there's only one. Yeah, it uses like stencils to do it. See, it has a tag, silhouette and stencil. Nah, it's none of those. Let's try a see-through. None of this stuff. See behind. See, that's also what I've... Like X-ray vision, right? But there just isn't any for canvas items, I guess. What? But I searched X-ray. Weird. Something's going on with the sorting, I feel like. But this is spatial, so it doesn't work. Yeah, depth pass-through, shader masking, depth. Money tree. I need to sort by canvas item only. Well, I don't know. There's probably another way that I could go about doing this instead of a fancy shader, because I think even if I do a shader, I'm probably going to have to... Whoa! I'm going to have to apply a shader to, like, everything, which won't work and doesn't make any sense. Right? So... So yeah, we'll probably just do like some kind of glow or like a little like arrow pointing to it maybe would be fine. Something like that. I'll figure out other solutions, but it's fine. But at least the selection stuff works a lot better now, where it like forcibly overrides it, right? So I'm gonna mark that change in here. It's so money bags will forcibly take cursor selection focus every time now. Okay. But yeah, we gotta go raid out because I gotta go eat. Let's go find somebody to raid. Who's on right now? Dobbs is on. Sure. Unless there's any new crazy people on the indie game developers team. Oh my god. Well, that person's not started yet. They're playing games. Okay. Yeah, let's just go raid Dobbs. Yeah, I think that too. Don't know if there's a way to have a second camera that sees everything, but the shoppers... Yeah, there might be ways I mean, there are ways to do that. Like, you could draw everything to, like, they call that, like, a canvas group or whatever. I know how I would be able to do that, but I think performance-wise, that would be very bad for the game. So it's one of those things that I probably would not want to do just to make money bags a little bit easier to see. Yeah, but it's fine. I think I'll just do like a little arrow pointing or something, or a little circle that flashes so you can tell where the bags are. I'll figure out something. It can't be that hard. But anyways. Yeah, we're gonna go raid Dobbs. So thank you everybody for coming into the stream. Also one last message here. How you doing? Have you ever heard of the default engine? Not sure that I have. I might have heard it brought up before. Actually, yeah, I think so. From what I heard about that, it seems to be kind of like mobile focused. But yeah, I'd have to look into it more. I'm not really sure. I don't know much about default, to be honest, but seems like it could be interesting. Yeah, unfortunately, we're ending stream right now. I apologize for cutting you off. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming in. We'll be live again or no, not tomorrow. Today's Sunday, right? We'll be live again on Wednesday, 3:30 MDT. Feel free to wishlist Lured In. I'll try and get this update out soon so you guys can play test. Yeah, thank you gamers for coming in. Also, grab Starground. It's on sale for the summer sale. Glow is on the top layer. Transparency varies on a sine wave. Yeah, something like that would work. Okay. Bye, everybody. I have to go with 1 second. Bye.